This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
Good evening, everyone. This is Bob Gavere, along with Phil Rizzuto and Frank Murcer at Yankee Stadium. And we're getting ready for the second game of the doubleheader between the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers. Tigers won a rather lackluster opening ball game, but it had a little more luster on it for the Tigers than for the Yankees because they won it by a final score of 2-1. There was no scoring in the game after the fifth inning. The Tigers scored first in the third. With 2 outs, Mickey Stanley tripled and scored on a wild pitch. Yankees tied it up in the third. Gene Michael singled. Stottlemyre sacrificed in the second, and Thurman Munson came through with a base hit. Tigers got the winning run in the fifth inning on a double by Stanley. He went to third on a ground ball to first by Kaline and scored on a sacrifice fly by Jim Northrup. Yankees had 2 hits from Johnny Ellis, his last hit coming in the fourth inning, and that was the last hit for the New York Yankees. The closest they came to tying the ball game was Roy White's long line drive that Kaline loped back and caught just above the fence in right field, and that was in the sixth inning. And the last 10 men in a row went down as the winning pitcher was the left-hander for the Detroit Tigers, Mike Kilkenny, and Mel Stottlemyre, the loser. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Detroit Tigers, and 1 run and 4 hits for the New York Yankees in the opener of the doubleheader. The Tigers come up with their first win at Yankee Stadium this year. The Yankees have beaten them the other 2 ball games, and we'll have the other game in just a little while. Stan Bonson will be the pitcher for the New York Yankees, and Joe Niekro, who pitched an outstanding ball game against the Yankees the last time he faced them out in Detroit, he'll be on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. Here are the lineups for the second game, and we have changes for both teams. For the Yankees, Horace Clarke will be leading off and playing second base. Jake Gibbs will bat second and catch. Bobby Murcer hits third in center field. Roy White, the left fielder, bats fourth. Pete Ward will be at first base hitting fifth. Kurt Leffrey in right field sixth. To Jerry Kenny at third base seventh. Gene Michael at shortstop eighth. And Stan Bonson will be on the mound and batting ninth. Bonson has won 4 out of his last 5 starts, with McDaniel getting credit for a save in each of the 4 victories. And tonight will be his 3rd start of the year against the Tigers. He beat them 4-1 on May the 15th as he hurled a 6-hitter. And then he had no decision against them on May the 25th. He went 8 innings and he allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. The Tigers winning 4-3. Steve Hamilton was the loser in relief in that one on a Freehan home run. For the Tigers, Dalton Jones leads off at third base. Mickey Stanley in center field bats second. Gates Brown in left field hits third. Norm Cash, the first baseman, bats fourth. And Cash hit a great stop of a ground ball by Bobby Murcer in the 9th inning of the nightcap. Russ Nagelson will be in right field batting fifth. Don Wirtz will be batting sixth. Jim Price, the catcher, seventh. Cesar Gutierrez, eighth. And Joe Niekro on the mound, and he'll be batting ninth. John Wood will be the third baseman, so we have to change what we said about Dalton Jones. He will be playing second base and leading off. So Jones will be the second baseman, although he has played for the most part at third base. So it'll be Jones at second. You better go around the infield defensively for the Tigers. Cash at first, Jones at second, shortstop Gutierrez, and Wade at third. In the outfield and left field, it'll be Gates Brown, center field Mickey Stanley, and in right field, it'll be Russ Nagelson. The Yankees defensively, at first base, Pete Ward, at second base, Horace Clarke, shortstop Gene Michael, at third base, Jerry Kenny. In the outfield, Roy White in left, Bobby Murcer in center, and Kurt Leffrey in right field. We'll be checking the scores of the other ball games for you, but first, this message.
When Atlantic Richfield Company discovered oil on the north slope of Alaska, the place we call the Arco Circle, it took 100,000 tons of supplies and equipment to get started. It took 100,000 tons of pipe, cement, drills, gravel, hawkers, gloves, huts, heaters, tractors, ladders, radios, and orange juice. It took planes that carry 48,000 pounds and cost $4,000 a trip. It took 160 flights to set up one camp and 5 flights a day to keep it going. It took a specially constructed airstrip. In short, it took the biggest civilian airlift in history. At Atlantic Richfield, we went all the way to Alaska so we can provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
the scoreboard, Cleveland defeated Baltimore in the first game of the doubleheader at Cleveland, 4-0, as Dean Chance pitched a 4-hitter. And that's a tough ball club to shut out in that ballpark. Baltimore with all the big power hitters and the short fences in Cleveland. But the Indians did it. 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Cleveland. No runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Baltimore. Chance, the winner, is 7-5, and Cuellar, the loser, is 15-8. Tony Horton got the big blow, a 3-run homer in the first inning. That was then Greg Nettles hit one, his 17th, and that came in the 6th inning. Second game of the doubleheader, the pitchers are in, Harden against Dunning. The Red Sox failed to score in the top of the first inning at Washington. It's Peters against Cox. Chicago beat Milwaukee 7-3, 7-8-0 for the White Sox, 3-11-1 for the Brewers. The winner was Tedeschi and the loser was Downing, and Bill Melton hit home run number 20. In the National League, the Giants beat Cincinnati by a score of 9-2. Rieberger, the winner, is 4-4. Washburn, the starter and loser. The Giants got 7 in the first inning, and Noriega came on to pitch in that first inning. Tony Perez has hit home run number 32, also picked up his 100th RBI of the season. Frank Johnson hit home run number 3 with 2 on in the first, and Willie McCovey home run number 28, also with 2 on in the first inning. The Giants got 7 in the first and went on to win it by a score of 9-3. Pittsburgh in a big doubleheader against the Phillies. The Pirates lead the Phillies 3-0 at the end of 6. Ellis against Bunning. That's the first of 2. The Mets at St. Louis and Chicago at Montreal later, as well as Atlanta at Los Angeles and Houston at San Diego. So you're up to date. Right now in Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
This is your Guy High Agent. Join me for your kind of music, weekdays, 3 to 7, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
Bob Gamere along with Frank Lesser and Phil Rizzuto, Yankee Stadium, and we're all set for the start of the second game of the doubleheader. And Bonson goes out to the mound to take his final warm-up. Bonson has won 4 out of his last 5 starts. And as we mentioned, Lindy McDaniel has gotten credit for a save in each of them. Bonson has a record of 10 wins and 7 losses. So adjusting the American League standings for what's happened, Baltimore remains in first place, now 9 games ahead of the Detroit Tigers and 9.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees. The Yankees remain 9.5 out, but they drop a notch down to third place. Dalton Jones, Mickey Stanley, and Gates Brown will be the first 3 batters for the Tigers. Jones with a batting average of .225. He has 2 homers, 2 doubles, and no triples. Jones picked up the Boston Red Sox in the offseason. The Yankees, of course, have to go up against tough Joe Niekro, who pitched a 1-hitter against the Yankees as the Tigers swept a 3-game series back the first week in July. It was on July the 2nd that he pitched a 1-hitter, Horace Clark getting the hit in the 9th inning. Horace got his hit with 1 out in the 9th inning that night to spoil Niekro's no-hitter. And it was the 3rd time in a month that Horace had done that, spoiled a no-hitter in the 9th inning. The other 2 times were against Jim Rooker of Kansas City on June 4th and Sonny Stupid of Boston on June the 19th. Niekro had 1 other start against the Yankees this year. On May 27th, he was a losing pitcher. He gave up 4 runs, 3 of which were earned in the 3 1/3 innings. Yankees winning that one by a score of 4-2. All right, Dalton Jones steps in. Jones batting .225. Tigers won the first one 2-1. So Kenny the winner and Stottlemyre the loser. Bonson into the windup. The first pitch of the second game was swung on and missed, strike 1. Bonson into the windup. The next pitch to Jones. Fastball rocked deep to right field. This one way back. Leffery going back. Going way back, and the ball is in the bleachers for a home run. Dalton Jones has led off the game with a home run into the right field bleachers. A long line drive shot. Leffery started back, then gave up. When you go back and play the ball off the scoreboard, if it missed going into the bleachers, he knew he couldn't catch it, but the ball just did clear the bleacher fence and goes in for a home run. The third home run of the season for Jones. Mickey Stanley will be the batter. Stanley with a batting average of .268, 10 homers, 5 triples, and 12 doubles. Bonson delivers. Fastball in there for the called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Tell you that Dalton Jones has always given promise of being an outstanding hitter in the Major League. He hits a lot like that in batting practice, and every now and then he connected a ball game. A good line drive hitter. The pitch is low, and it's 1-1. Tigers 1 and the Yankees nothing. We're in the top half of the first inning of the nightcap after the Tigers won the opener 2-1. Bonson winds up, delivers, curveball hit in the air, foul, out of play, first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stan Bonson taking plenty of time, gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch, and Mickey Stanley check swing. It's low and outside for a ball, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One to nothing. The Tigers lead it. Bonson winds. Here it comes, low in the dirt. It hit about 1.5 yards in front of the plate. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. With Stan Bonson having a bit of a problem here in the top half of the first inning. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mickey Stanley. Yankee infield has Pete Ward at first, Horace Clark at second, Gene Michael the shortstop, Jerry Kenny at third, and the outfield it's Roy White, Bobby Murcer, and Kurt Leffrey. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mickey Stanley. Tigers beginning a long road trip. The windup, the full count pitch, swung on and fouled at home plate, and the count holds 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. 2 years ago, Stan Bonson was the American League's Rookie of the Year. And he had a disappointing season last year, and he's bounced back this year. The full count pitch, low for ball 4. So Stanley trots on down to first base. And it'll bring up Gates Brown. Brown, the left fielder in this ball game, hitting .271, 2 homers, and 2 doubles. So the first 2 Tigers have gotten on base here in the top half of the first inning. The pitch to Brown is low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Jake Gibbs, the Yankee catcher here in the second game, and Stan Bonson, the pitcher. Lifetime against the Tigers. Stan Bonson has won 3 and lost 2. Bonson checks Stanley off first. Here it comes. There it goes. Line drive in the left field. White coming on. He makes the catch. Falls to his knees. Gets up. Throws the ball into Gene Michael. And back to first base goes Mickey Stanley. So Gates Brown hits it on the nose, but right to Roy White. 1 out, a runner on, a runner in, and Norm Cash the batter. Cash batting .253. 12 homers, 1 triple, and 11 doubles. Cash in the first game went 0 for 3, but he had a base on ball. And he also had a base hit. He had a base hit in the 8th inning, so he was 1 for 3, plus a walk, plus an outstanding defensive play. Stan Bonson checks Stanley, delivers the curve low and inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Tigers won the opener 2-1. They lead here by a score of 1-0 in the top of the first inning. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Norm Cash. Bonson goes to the belt. Pitch, curveball, low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 to Cash. Mickey Stanley with the lead off first. Sponsored to the belt. Here it comes. Low and outside. 3-0. 3-0 to Cash. The 3-0 delivery, low for ball 4, and Cash throws the base on balls. The second walk-off Bonson. Down to second base goes Mickey Stanley. And out of the Yankee dugout comes Ralph Houk. Houk makes his first appearance on the field tonight, aside from bringing out the scorecard. Mel Stottlemyre went all the way in the opener, but was a loser by a score of 2-1. Russ Nagelson will be the batter. He was picked up from Cleveland along with Billy Rohr in exchange for Fred Lasher, and that was back on May the 22nd. Nagelson is only hitting .147. He's had 1 homer and 1 double. Nagelson, a left-handed batter. First and second and 1 out for the Tigers. They've got a run-in on Dalton Jones' home run, his third of the year. As the stretch by Bonson, he delivers on the outside corner for the call, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count on Nagelson. Bonson goes to the belt, checks the runners. Both have good leads. Still checking. Now he delivers. Fastball low for a ball, and it's 1-1. On second base, Stanley. On first base, Cash. There's 1 out and a run in on Dalton Jones' home run. Phil Rizzuto has joined us.
Oh, that was a heartbreaker, that first ball game. It's a shame because though Mel Stottlemyre struggled in the first 4 innings, he came on strong. Would have been a big win.
Pitch is hit on the ground out to Horace Clark at second. Over to Michael for 1. The relay to first, not in time at first. Runners on first and third and 2 out. So 2 outs for the Tigers. Over to third base is Mickey Stanley. Cash is erased on the 4th play, and safe at first is Nagelson. Stanley on third, Nagelson on first. 2 outs, and the batter is Don Wirth. Wirth batting .249. First game he was 1 for 4. Bonson to the belt. He delivers fastball foul to the screen, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Tigers 1, Yankees nothing in the top of the first of the nightcap. First game to Detroit, 2-1. Dan Bonson checks the runners off first and third. The pitch, fastball hit in the end to short right field. Blufrey coming on. He won't get it. It's in there for a base hit. In the score comes Mickey Stanley. Over to third goes Nagelson. Blufrey throw to Horace Clark. 2-0 Tigers. So an RBI for Wirth. That'll be his 24th of the season. The Tigers quickly off to a 2-0 lead, and brings up their catcher, Jim Price. Price with a batting average of 197. He's only had 4 RBIs, but he's only been up 61 times. He's had 1 homer and 2 doubles. Price the batter with runners on first and third and 2 out. Bonson looks in to get the sign. Stan goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground, wide of third. Kenny Over can't get it. Michael has a throw to second. Out! A beautiful play by Michael. What a play by Gene Michael, deep in the hole. And he's been playing a fine shortstop of the ball game tonight after having a bit of a rough series out in Cleveland. However, the Tigers get 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 2 men left. At the end of the half inning of the nightcap, Detroit 2 and the Yankees coming up.
Recently, you may have received a new credit card through the mail. Across the top is the name Arco, A-R-C-O. You may have noticed the name Atlantic on the card in smaller type. This new Arco card is the same as the old Atlantic credit card. Your new Arco credit card is good for all the things you get at your Atlantic service station, plus some new things. After Richfield and Atlantic merged to form the Atlantic Richfield Company, it seemed to make sense to have one national credit card honored at thousands of service stations from coast to coast. The name chosen was Arco. This new card has lots of friends. It'll pay for your rental car at Hertz or your food and lodging at any Ramada or Treadway Inn, Hyatt House Motel, Hyatt Lodge, Travel Lodge, Friendship Inn, Emmons Walker Inns Incorporated, or Superior Motel. All these people now just have one name to remember, Arco.
Myself.
What'd you do, get stuck on a name, Phil? A name or what?
I can't. With my glasses, I don't know what that says. It looks like P-I-R... Peter Persh, that's what it is.
It's a pretty good name for a riddle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Like he picked a peck of pickled peppers. Can you say that?
No, I can't. I can't even say Peter Persh.
All right, we're all set for the bottom half of the first inning. 2-0, the Tigers lead the Yankees. Horace Clark set to lead it off. Yankees looking for a little bit of life now as they come to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Went down quietly in the first game, 2-1. Hadn't had a hit since the fourth inning of that first game. First pitch to Horace Clark from Necro is outside for ball one. Joe Necro on the mound. And he well remembers Horace Clark. He got the only hit off him, and it came in the ninth inning out at Tiger Stadium. The windup and the pitch. Low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Tigers leading 2-0 in the first inning of the second game. 2 balls and no strikes to Horace Clark. Necro into the windup. And the pitch. Clark swings in a high Baltimore chop first base side, going foul and picked up by Necro. 2-1 the count to Clark. Tigers won their first game of the Yankee Stadium season in the opener after the Yankees won the only 2 games played way back in the beginning of the season. And then we lost the doubleheader to the Rain. That was back on, let's see, was it in May? Yes, it was. May 17th. 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Horace Clark. So the Yankees have to win this to get back into second place.
Boy, Sandy.
The windup and the pitch to Clark. Swing and a little bounce to first base side. Necro off the bat. Will have to hurry to throw. Out at first. Nice play by Necro, and there's 1 out. So Horace Clark bounces out on a 2-1 pitch. It'll bring up Jake Gibbs, the Yankees catcher. Gibbs batting .254, 3 homers, 1 triple, and 3 doubles. And Phil Rizzuto has some lights. Does it still look like Peter Persh?
Now it does, yes. Peter Persh. There it is, P-I-R-S-C-H. Well, I thought it was a joke when Bill came, but that name is quite a name there. The Frivolous Sal's Volunteers from Poughkeepsie.
Peter Persh from Poughkeepsie.
Oh, wait, no, it's no Peter Persh isn't there. The fire truck is named Peter Persh.
Oh, the pitch is low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike.
No, not the pitch is low. Peter Persh.
One ball and no strikes to Jake Gibbs. Bottom half of the first inning. Tigers leading 2-0. The windup by Necro. Here it comes. It's low and it's 2 balls and no strikes. The fire truck had to be named after somebody, didn't it?
I think after Peter Persh, Bob.
Phil's going to be a master at that the next time he gets that one to read. I want to see Frank Messer. Frank hasn't seen it yet. We'll have to flip that one to him one of these innings. 2 balls and no strikes. The windup and the pitch. In there for the called strike. You know, we had those other ones for so long that you could almost do them from memory.
That's right. That's what I thought this was. I picked it up nonchalantly, and I started. Forget it.
2-1 the count to Gibbs. The windup and Necro's pitch. Pop foul onto the screen. It's 2-2. Tigers won the opener 2-1. They lead here 2-0 in the bottom half of the first inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Jake Gibbs was 1 out. Necro into the windup. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball lined to the left field for a base hit. Jake just stroked that one right over third base. Picked up by Gates Brown. He throws it into second on the fly, and Jake Gibbs hustles back to first. Jake Gibbs with a line drive base hit. The first Yankee hit of their second game, and their first hit since the 4th inning of the opener. And Bobby Murcer steps in. Bobby batting .247. Bobby in the first game went 0 for 3, also had a base on ball. So Bobby gets to see a right-handed pitcher for the first time in a while. He saw Sam McDowell last night and Mike Kilkenny in the first game. The stretch and the pitch. Bobby takes outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Cleveland beat Baltimore 4-0 in the first game of their twilighter. Here the Tigers beat the Yankees 2-1. 1-0 to Bobby Murcer. There's the stretch and the pitch. Murcer takes outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Jake Gibbs with the lead off first. 1 out. Bottom half of the first inning. The stretch. Here it comes in there for the called strike. Just above the knees. He didn't give Murcer a fat pitch 2-0, but he got it over. 2 balls and 1 strike. Necro overall has a record of 10 wins and 9 losses. 1-1 against the Yankees, and that's his lifetime mark. The 2-1 pitch on its way. Foul back to the screen. It's all even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe Necro last year was with the Cubs and the San Diego Padres. He was traded to the Tigers for pitcher Pat Dodson and infielder Dave Campbell. And he's done the job. Last year he was 8-18 in the National League. The year before that he had a good mark of 14-10. The 2-2 pitch. Murcer swings, pops it up foul. This will be out of play down the left field line. Ball coming back and into the upper deck. Uh-oh, here comes the Kurt Blefary sign out of the upper deck. They had a huge sign up there for Kurt Blefary. And it just broke loose, and it's hanging out of the upper deck. That has got to be one of the biggest signs I've ever seen. There's something about Kurt Blefary. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch and the pitch. Low for ball 3, and it's 3-2. Half of the sign is now on the screen, and the other half is hanging down. I hope it's not in front of the TV camera, so you wouldn't be able to see anything. Now they're pulling it back up from up above. Anybody behind that, you couldn't see the ball game. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gibbs off first with 1 out. Throw to first. Gibbs gets back. There's the stretch. Throw to first, no dice. Now Bobby Murcer goes for a walk outside the batter's box. Tigers the opener 2-1. This one they lead 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning. 3-2 to Murcer. Gibbs on at first with 1 out. Roy White on deck. Here's the stretch. There goes Gibbs. The pitch outside for ball 4. So Jake can take it easy. Goes into second base standing as Bobby Murcer draws a base on ball. Roy White will be the batter. It's been a long time since he's been below the 300 mark, but he is right now. Roy batting .298, 13 homers, 3 triples, and 23 doubles. The Yankees with runners on first and second. One out. Bottom half of the first inning. Roy was 0 for 4 in the first game, but he gave it the big bit on a long fly to right that almost tied it up. In the sixth inning, Kaline made a fine catch on it. The first pitch to Roy, curveball in there for the call, strike one. No balls and one strike. Last time Roy White was below the 300 mark was on April the 12th. This is the fourth game of the season. No balls and one strike. Bill came with all the statistics. Never thought he'd have that one. The stretch and the pitch. Low for a ball, and it's 1-1. Jake Gibbs on second. Bobby Murcer on first. One out. Bottom half of the first inning. 2-0 Tigers after they won the opener 2-1. The pitch to White. Curve is low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Pete Ward. Now Jim Price walks the ball halfway out to the mound and then flips it to Negro. 2-1 the count to Roy White. The Yankees trying to get even here in the bottom of the first inning and get even in the second game. Gibbs with a good lead off second. Murcer also off first. 2-1 the count to White. Here's the pitch. Swung a long drive at the right field. This one is high. Far and gone. Home run. Puts Roy White back to the 300 mark mighty fast. Batting average back to 300 and home run number 14. And he now has 66 RBIs. And the Yankees lead it 3-2. Here's Pete Ward. The pitch to Pete is outside for ball one. Ward is batting .250. And last night he laid down a beautiful bunt in the ball game at Cleveland that hit third base. 3-2 Yankees, and we've had more scoring in the first inning than we had in the entire first game. The Tigers winning that 2-1. The 1-0 pitch. High, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count to Pete Ward. So Negro got Horace Clark, but then he gave up a single to Gibbs, a walk to Murcer, and a home run to Roy White. 2 balls and no strikes to Pete Ward. The windup. Here it comes. Inside at 3 balls and no strikes. So Negro pitched a 1-hitter against the Yankees the last time. Having his troubles in the first inning this time. 3-0 the count. The windup and the pitch. On the corner for the called strike. Got the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike to Pete Ward. The windup. Here it comes. Outside for ball 4, and the Pete Ward draws a base on ball. And here comes Leo Smith out of the Tigers dugout. So in the first game, neither manager had to come out and talk to the pitchers. And here in the second game, we've seen both managers here in the first inning. This game has had a little more excitement already than the first game, Phil.
Well, you know, it's a strange thing, Bob. Very seldom do you get 2 well-pitched games in a doubleheader. The first game, the pitching dominated when young Mike Kilkenny bested Mel Stottlemyre in a real pitcher's duel, 2-1. And then always, it seems, in the second game, for some reason or other, it's a slugfest. And as you say, we've already scored many more runs in this game than we scored in the whole first game. And I'm not sure whether he's taking them out or not. It doesn't look like it. No, he's going to let him stay in there. Good. Leo Smith a little upset. He was hitching his belt up. This is a battle for second place. Yankees got to win this to regain it.
And Kurt Blefary will be the batter. Runner on first, 1 out, 3 runs in for the Yankees, and they lead 3-2 in the bottom half of the first inning. Pete Ward on at first with 1 out, and Blefary steps in. Blefary batting .214. Necro to the belt. The pitch to Kurt, low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. One and 0 the count on Blefary. Tigers the opener 2-1. Yankees lead here 3-2, but we're only in the first inning. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Blefary. Necro with the stretch. Ward dancing away the pitch. Hit in the air, deep to right center field. Stanley going back, turns under it, and he makes the catch. Lobs it in the second base. Blefary got good wood on it, but he hit it to right center field. And there are 2 outs. 2 outs for the Yankees. Pete Ward back to first base. And Jerry Kenney will be getting his first at-bat of the evening. Kenney with a batting average of .207. He's not playing the first game. Yankees leading at 3-2. Here in the first inning, we had a leadoff home run by Dalton Jones for the Tigers. And a 3-run shot by Roy White of the Yankees. The stretch. That first pitch to Kenny. Low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Jerry batting .207. And Phil Rizzuto has a lavender flower to go with his lavender pen.
All right, Robert.
The pitch fouled off. Coming back towards the press box and back on the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Where did you ever get that?
Well, that's really not mine. I think somebody gave it to Frank Murcer. Somebody's in love with him.
1 ball and 1 strike. Yankees 3 and the Tigers 2. Bottom of the first. Tigers won the opener 2-1. There's the stretch. The pitch. Kenny takes strike called on a curveball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Been a long first inning of the nightcap. They held up the second game until about 8 o'clock. First game was over about 7:25. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The lead by Ward. The pitch to Kenny. Swung on and fouled back just below the press box and onto the screen again. 1-2. One and 2 the count. Here's the stretch. The pitch to Kenny. Slow curve is high and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Baltimore scored 3 runs in the top half of the second inning at Cleveland. That's Harden against Dunning. The Indians won the first one 4-0. The stretch and the pitch. Inside for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jerry Kenney. Pete Ward on at first with 2 outs. And the Yankees leading at 3-2. Three and 2 the count. Ward will be off and running. There he goes. The pitch is strike 3 called and the side's retired. And Kenny didn't like the call. He said so to John Rice, the home plate umpire. Jerry is called out on strikes, but the Yankees get 3 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and a man left, and Kenny is still drawing away with Rice. Now Dick Hauser comes down and steps right in between them and leads Jerry Kenney by the hand back to the dugout. The score at the end of 1, the Yankees 3 and the Tigers 2.
Right now, Chevrolet dealers are back on Chevrolet savings stock.
Before we go along any further, right now, let's pause for station identification.
This is Harry Downey bringing the Upside Downey game your way weekdays 10 to 3 here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81 WGY Schenectady.
All right, both Bonson and Negro have been treated rather roughly in the first inning, so let's see, as they go back and take their rest, whether things will be different. Bob?
All right, on we go to the top half of the second inning. Yankees leading at 3-2. Gutierrez, Niekro, and Dalton Jones will be the batters. Bounced it into his windup. Out in the pitch. Outside with the curveball for ball one, and Jerry Kenney was racing in from third as Gutierrez fluffed the bunt. 1 ball and no strikes. Yankees 3 and the Tigers 2, but the Tigers won the opener 2-1. The pitch is hit in the air out towards right field. Blefary in his tracks, backing up a little bit, catches it head high, and there's one out. Gutierrez slides out to right field for the first out in the top of the second. It'll bring up Joe Niekro, the pitcher. Niekro is batting .149. He's had 7 base hits and 47 at-bats, and one of the hits was for a triple, 2 of them for a double. One out, top of the second. Yankees leading 3-2 after the Tigers won the opener 2-1. Each team has had 2 hits. Bounce and wind. Kicks delivered. Swing and a miss, strike one. Niekro swung over that one. No balls and 1 strike. Bounce it into the windup. Delivers again. Niekro takes high for a ball. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch hit on the ground back through the box and into center field for a base hit. Up with the ball is Bobby Murcer. He throws on into second. And Joe Niekro, the pitcher, comes up with his 8th base hit of the season. So Niekro is on, and he wants his warm-up jacket. Tigers have a base runner with 1 out, and Dalton Jones, who hit his 3rd homer of the season to start off the ball game, steps in. First pitch to Jones is low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Niekro not taking much of a lead at all. He's got about a 1-yard lead. Here's the pitch. Low for ball, 2 balls and no strikes. Yankees 3 and the Tigers 2, top half of the second inning. Niekro leads off the 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Munson walked a couple in the first inning, now in danger of his 3rd walk of the ball game. Mickey Stanley is on deck. It's a little consolation to face the Tigers without Kaline in the batting order, though. He's being rested in this nightcap. The pitch is over for a called strike, 3-1. But I'd imagine he could be a pretty good threat as a pinch hitter later on in the ball game. 3 balls and 1 strike to Dalton Jones. Stan Bonson checks Niekro. Here it comes, low for ball 4, and Jones draws the base on balls. That's the 3rd one given up by Stan Bonson in an inning and a 3rd. And it'll bring up Mickey Stanley, who drew the first walk-off Bonson. It came on the 3-2 pitch of the first inning. So with 1 out here in the second inning, Niekro has walked, Jones has walked after Niekro's single. First and second with 1 out, and Mickey Stanley the batter. Mickey Stanley steps in. Niekro on at second, Jones on at first, and now Stanley steps out as Bonson was taking too long for him. Stanley batting .268. Mickey's hit 10 home runs. He had a good first game. He had a double and a triple and scored both Tiger runs. Bonson to the belt. The pitch, curve low in the dirt for ball 1. Nice block by Jake Gibbs. 1 ball and no strikes, and now we have some activity out in the Yankee bullpen. Neither manager went to the bullpen in the first game. Both managers have had the bullpen up already in this one. Munson stretches, and the pitch. Curve in there for the called strike. That was a beauty. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yankees leading 3-2 after the Tigers won the opener 2-1. The pitch is low for a ball, 2-1. Whatever breeze we have here at the stadium right now, blowing out towards left field. A very comfortable night for baseball. Looks as if the good weather followed us right along. We had it pleasant after the first day in Milwaukee. Certainly nice in Cleveland, and now nice here in New York. The 2-1 pitch is inside the 3-1. That plate jumping around on Stan Munson. 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Gates Brown. Mickey Stanley, the center fielder, up there. 3-1. Munson stretches. The pitch. Hit on the ground. Back over Munson. Throws in the center field for a base hit. Nick roll around third. He'll score. Going on the third base is Jones. The throw cut off by Ward. And there are runners on first and third in a tie ball game. Stan Munson just missed that ball. Was well hit up the middle, but he almost flagged it down, went right over his glove, and kept right on going into center field, and Ralph Houk is out of the Yankee dugout. This is his second time out, but not the second time in this inning. But he's going to make the change anyhow, and he wants a left-hander. So Mickey Stanley has singled to tie up the ball game. Jones is on third, Stanley on first with 1 out. And it looks as if it's Steve Hamilton, and this is quite early for Steve Hamilton in the ball game.
Well, I think right now with 2 left-hand hitters, actually 3 in a row, scheduled at bat, Ralph Houk wants to get out of this inning, and Steve, as everyone knows, is a short relief man. And what Ralph will probably do, get out of this jam, or hope to get out of this jam, and then pinch hit maybe for Steve Hamilton.
I've often thought of the possibility of letting Hamilton, let's say, pitch to the left-handed batters and then putting him someplace on the field. And Ralph has said that he's been, tempted so often, but he says there's always one man out of place. He's always one lefty or one right-handed hitter away. I don't think he'd do it this early in the ball game, but Hamilton is so effective against the lefty that you have to think about it.
You know something, Bob? I mentioned that same thing down to him when I was talking to him between games. Interviewing him, and he said he gets a little upset when people say that, well, we know you can get left-handers out, but you have trouble against right-handers. And he said it's something that has stuck with him because he does get left-handers out so well. They weigh that against the way he pitches against right-handers. And he said if you check the records, you'll see that he does as well against right-hand hitters as other pitchers, not as well as he does against left-hand batters naturally, because he's so great getting them out. But he just gets a little upset when they say, well, you can't get right-handers out.
He's been getting them out and getting them out well all year, but as you say, he's been tremendous against the left-handers. Now, wait a minute. Gates Brown is heading back to the dugout, and we'll wait and see what happens. Ike Brown will be the pinch hitter, pinch hitting for Gates Brown.
All we got to do is change first names and leave them right in there.
What was the old one? Gates and Ike, they look alike, they swing alike? No, it wasn't Gates and Ike, it was Mike and Ike.
All right.
Not too many people with the name of Gates. Ike Brown will be the pinch hitter. So Gates Brown will be the pinch hitter. Boy, for early in the ball game, we have a short relief pitcher and a pinch hitter. Some fans may be wondering about Horton. Willie Horton is on the disabled list. He was injured, I guess, when we were out in California. So they do not have Willie Horton, and the Yankees are happy about that. Not happy for Willie's sake that he has been murdered on Yankee pitching. Here's Gates Brown. 3-3 the score. First and third and one out. Second inning. The stretch. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Gates Brown is batting .271. He has 2 doubles and 2 home runs. No balls and 1 strike. Hamilton goes to the belt. Fastball inside low, and it's 1-1 on Ike Brown. So Gates Brown only got out once, and he lined out to left field. 3-3 the score, top of the second. Tigers won the opener 2-1. The pitch, swung on, hit on the ground, slowly down the first baseline. The players to the plate and safe at home. Pete Ward was slow getting rid of that ball. Seemed to hesitate for just a second. There was no slide at home plate. Pete seemed to hesitate, Phil.
He did. He didn't think he had a chance for the runner at home, and then was surprised to see him so far from the plate. And that slight hesitation cost the Yankees a run. Now they trail 4-3. That'll be a fielder's choice.
The fielder's choice, and they give Ike Brown an RBI. Dalton Jones scored from third. Down to second goes Mickey Stanley, and Ike Brown is safe at first. Now the left-handed batter is Norm Cash. Little dribbler down the first base line. Here's the pitch. Curve is in there for the called strike one. No balls and 1 strike. So the Tigers lead 4-3 in the top half of the second inning. No balls and 1 strike. Hamilton to the belt, delivers the curve outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. Steve Hamilton with a record of 4 wins and 3 losses, an earned run average of 2.25. Tigers 4, Yankees 3, top half of the second inning. There's the stretch and the pitch. Curveball is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers won the opener 2-1. We've had wild scoring in this one. Tigers got 2 in the first, Yankees 3 in the bottom of the first, Tigers 2 here in the top of the second, and they're still at it. First and second, 1 out. 2-1 to count on Cash. There's the stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On that play to the plate, Jones never did bother to slide, and they almost had him after all, even after the hesitation.
I said that Jake could have really given him a dirty play there, given him a hip, and he'd have been up in the seat.
2-2 pitch is low for ball 3. 3-2 the count. Ross Nagelson is on deck. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We'll see if the runners are going. Stanley and Ike Brown. As the stretch. They're not going. The pitch hit on the ground, slowly foul outside of first, and the count holds at 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes to Norm Cash. Cash walked his first time up. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a foul ball back to the screen. It holds at 3-2. He bounced that one back. He just did get a piece of it. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, it's funny, we were talking about Hamilton and the right-hand batters. Well, he fooled Ike Brown so badly that it turned out he fooled him too much. He hit it off the end of the bat, and it was hit so slowly the run scored. Doesn't show on the box scores, but Steve did his job, and he just got a bad break.
Here's the stretch and the pitch. Low for ball 4, so Cash draws a base on balls. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Mickey Stanley goes to third. Ike Brown goes to second. Norm Cash goes to first. And the batter will be Russ Nagelson. Nagelson grounded into a fourth play his first time up by hitting a ground ball to Horace Clark. Nagelson came in only batting 147. So another lefty for Steve Hamilton to face. But after this, he runs out of lefties with Don Wirth scheduled. The windup in the pitch. High for ball one. 1 ball and no strike. Tigers have him loaded. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up, maybe playable. Coming back is Gibbs. It's going to be close, right to the screen. Can't get it on the screen. 1-1. Jake was ready to climb the screen for that one. What a spot for a pop-up with the bases loaded. But it was back on the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yankee outfield this second game. Roy White, Bobby Murcer, and Kurt Blefary, and they're pulled way around for Russ Nagelson. Tigers have the bases loaded. They lead 4-3 in the second inning of the nightcap. They won the opener 2-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Hamilton, the windup, and the pitch. Curve, strike 2, a beauty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now a new supply of baseballs is brought out to plate umpire John Rice. Rice is the home plate umpire. Marty Springstead at first, Larry Barnett at second, and Larry Knapp around at third. Strike 3 swinging, and Hamilton gets a big strikeout. So he strikes out Nagelson after walking Cash. 2 outs for the Tigers, and Don Wirth will be the batter. And it looks as if Hamilton will stay on the mound to pitch to Wirth. Tigers leading 4-3, top half of the second inning. Don Wirth got a base hit to drive it a run in the first inning. Hamilton delivers, low for ball 1, 1 ball and no strike. So this is the second right-handed batter that he's had to face, the other one being Ike Brown. Pitch is hit in the air, deep to left, White going back to the warning path, to the fence, he's got it, and the side's retired. And that in many ballparks is a grand slam homer, but it's a big out. For the Tigers to the top half of the second inning, they regain the lead. As they scored 2 runs, they had 2 hits. There were no errors and 3 left. At the end of an inning and a half, the Tigers 4 and the Yankees 3.
There's action and fun for everyone at the Catskill Game Farm. See all the game, both wild and tame, at the Catskill Game Farm.
You'll enjoy seeing the rare imported antelope in the new African exhibit. Besides petting and feeding the many animals at the game farm, you may go for a train ride in the colorful bird area where there is a large modern cafeteria serving delicious hot and cold meals. If you're nature-minded, don't miss the Wildlife Art Gallery with many beautiful animal paintings. There are so many enjoyable things to see at the Catskill Game Farm. Be sure to visit it someday this week. It's located 2 miles off Route 32 south of Cairo, New York.
See all the game, both wild and tame, at the Catskill Game Farm.
Well, it looks like that Ike Brown's going to stay in left field, Bob. So all we got to do is keep the name Ike there and leave Brown in left field. And Ike, as far as I know, I haven't seen him in the outfield. I know he's played a lot of second and third base for the Tigers.
Well, he gets his chance in the outfield. Of course, they still have Kaline they could have put in there. But they're giving Kaline a rest. He's been in the big leagues for 18 years, 35 years old. And probably the only time we'll see him would be at a pinch hitting role or later on in the ball game. All right, Gene Michael will try and get things going for the Yankees as we go to the bottom of the second. 4-3, the Tigers lead it. Detroit, the winner in the first game, 2-1 as Kilkenny bested Mel Stottlemyre. The windup and the pitch. Michael takes in there for the called strike. So Necro has been given a reprieve after that 3-run home run the first inning by Roy White. No balls and 1 strike. The windup and the pitch. Michael hit the line drive to first baseman Cash, 1 out. 1 up and 1 down. And it'll bring up the Yankee pitcher, Steve Hamilton. Stan Bouncer never did get a chance to bat in the ball game. Hamilton has had only 5 at-bats this year and no base hits. Four to 3, the Tigers lead it. Bottom half of the second inning. Big Steve, the left-handed batter. The pitch from Necro in there for the called strike. And Hamilton thought it was below his knees. He's got some pretty tall knees. Used to be a basketball player for the old Minneapolis Lakers. No balls and 1 strike. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a broken bat. Back to Necro, who made the play. The throw to first for the second out. He got that one backhanded between his legs.
Absolutely. Oh, we got to get a replay on that on TV. That was beautiful.
It was a broken bat by Hamilton. The ball went back to the mound, and somehow Necro had his legs all tangled up. The ball went right between his legs, and he was cross-legged at the time, stuck down the glove, and had the ball. 2 out. Phil's still looking for his replay. 2 outs, and Horace Clark will be the batter. Horace Clark steps in. Clark bounced to the mound in the first inning. 4 to 3, the Tigers lead it. The windup. The pitch to Clark, he's taking all the way, and it's low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. 1-0 the count. The windup and the pitch to Clark. Swung on and rocked foul outside of first. 1-1. Scramble for the baseball, and nobody wound up with it. 1-1 the count on Horace Clark. Tigers leading 4 to 3. Second inning of the nightcap. They won the opener 2-1. The windup. Here it comes. It's outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. After Horace Clark made out in the first inning, a single by Gibbs, a walk to Murcer, a 3-run homer by Roy White. 2-1 the count. Necro goes into the windup. He delivers. Slow curve high and outside. 3-1 the Horace Clark. Jake Gibbs on deck. Big ball game for these two teams. The winner goes into second place. Right now it's the Tigers by a half game over the Yankees. 3-1, the windup and the pitch. Clark takes high for ball 4. So Horace trots on down the first. It's the third walk for the Yankees. And we'll bring up Jake Gibbs. Gibbs wanting to base hit to left field to get the Yankees going in the first inning. Jake, who failed to hit a home run last year, has hit 3 home runs this year. He also has 1 triple and 3 doubles. The stretch by Necro. Throw to first, and Horace Clark gets back. Necro fires to first. No dice. Horace back with the belly whopper. Horace ducks off. Necro steps off. All right, Clark back with his big lead. Necro to the belt. First pitch to Jake Gibbs. Fastball accidentally hit foul outside of first, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Jake was trying to check a swing on that. 0-1 the count to Gibbs. Gibbs will be doing a lot of catching for the Yankees for the next 2 weeks. Munson will have his military reserve duty. 0-1 the count on Jake. 4-3, the Tigers lead it. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. The lead by Clark. A throw over there, and Horace is back. Horace has 12 stolen bases. 2 outs. He's got a big lead. The stretch. Another throw. He gets back. It's going to be a long nightcap. Played about an hour, but it's been a lot of excitement. 4-3, the Tigers lead it. To the belt goes Necro. The pitch. Gibbs. It's a long drive. It's a home run if it's fair. It is serving foul. Way back into the upper deck. No balls and 2 strikes. Mayo Smith going for a drink of water over in the Tiger dugout. 0-2 the count on Gibbs. Horace Clark on at first. 2 outs. The stretch. The pitch to Jake. Line drive hit down to the left field corner for a base hit. Clark around second, digging for third. Brown up with the ball in the corner. Clark to third. They hold him up. Nice play by Ike Brown, who went into play left field. A hole after a double. Not so much to keep Gibbs at second, but to stop the very fleet-footed Horace Clark from scoring. Jake just reached out and pumped that ball down the left field line. And they were playing him over that way. So actually, Ike Brown had a head start on the ball. They did not, as a rule, play Gibbs as a full hitter. There was a case where Gibbs did pull the ball into the upper deck, and then he hit one the opposite way.
Well, that's the stroke to have. A lot of pitchers will hang one inside, see him pull, pitch outside. Might fool some hitters, but Jake is as good going to left field as any left-hand hitter on the Yankees.
So the Yankees have a life here in the second inning with 2 outs, a walk the clock, a double by Jake Gibbs. And here comes Mayo Smith out of the dugout. We told you he went for a long drink of water after Gibbs hit that long foul. Mayo is in no hurry to get out to the mound. Necro has been hit well for 3 base hits. Home run, a double, and a single, and that's all. He's had it. So Jake Gibbs got 2 out of the 3 hits off Necro, and he leaves the ball game with the Tigers leading it 4-3. Right now on Yankee baseball, let's pause for station identification.
This is Steve Fitz, your contact host. Call us weeknights from 8 to midnight here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81 WGY Schenectady.
Looks like we're going to have a left-hander coming on, which will not be anything new for Bobby Murcer, who will be the scheduled batter to face the new pitcher coming on. Well, Bobby's getting more than his share of left-hand pitches to bat against this year. Let's see. Looks like it could be Hiller. It's hard to see. Let's see. Long, thin sideburns. Does that help Bill Kane? Number 18, John Hiller.
Very good.
Got to be lucky once in a while, Bob. But anyway, Hiller is not the type left-hand pitcher to give left-hand batters that much trouble. In other words, he doesn't come that side-on like Steve Hamilton does. Hiller is making his 31st appearance of the year, and he has won 5 and lost 3. He actually started 1 game for the Tigers this year. All the rest have been in relief. Has an earned run average of 3.06. Not bad, not good. Well, about good enough to keep you in there. He'll get his warm-up pitches and then have to face Bobby Murcer. And as we said, Bobby really facing his share of left-hand hitters. Let's see what Bobby did in the first game. He was 0 for 3, had 1 walk while he was in there. So as Bob said, this is going to be a wild and woolly ball game after that first one, a fine pitching duel between Mike Kilkenny, who the young left-hander was the winner against Mel Stottlemyre. And now this one already 4-3. We're in the bottom of the second, 2 outs. But the Yankees threatening with Jake Gibbs at second and Horace Clarke at third, and Bobby Murcer the batter. Meanwhile, as we told you in that first game out at Cleveland, the Indians behind Dean Chance shut out Baltimore, but in the second game, Baltimore scored 3 times, and at the end of 2 innings, they lead Cleveland 3-0 in that second game. We'll give you all the scores of all the other games at the end of the third inning. Right now, Murcer ready, the Tigers ready, and so is our Bob Gamere.
All right, Phil. Bobby Murcer steps in. First base is open. Gibbs is on second. Horace Clarke is on third. Tigers leading at 4-3 after winning the opener 2-1. Here's the windup. The first pitch to Murcer is low for ball one. Might have been a little outside. 1 ball and no strike. Joe Niekro pitched 1 3/3 innings. He's given up 3 runs. The 2 runners are his responsibility. Only 3 hits. The walks got him in trouble. He gave up 3 walks. 1-0 the count. The stretch. The pitch to Bobby Murcer. Third in there for the called strike. It's 1-1. Bobby Murcer drew a walk on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. 4-3, Detroit leading the nightcap after winning the opener 2-1. We're only in the second inning. The stretch. And the pitch. Murcer swings and misses. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But he didn't get close to that one. 1-2 the count on Murcer. Final National League score. The Pirates beat the Phillies 4-0 in the first game of the doubleheader. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That'll keep the Pirates in first place. Here's the stretch. Hiller delivers. Murcer takes high, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. John Hiller looks in to get the sign from Jim Price. Hiller brings it to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul ball to the Tiger dugout, and that bounces around the dugout. It never did get back out, but we could see it in 2 different places bouncing around. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now they throw it out of there. Cleveland got a run in the bottom of the third. It's Baltimore 3 and Cleveland 1 after 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the side's retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 outs. At the end of 2, it's the Tigers 4 and the Yankees 3.
The New York Yankees are proud to announce that all you fans in the Utica metro area can now make your ticket reservations for Yankee ball games as a service of Ball's Card Store, located on the busy corner in downtown Utica at Lafayette Street. Stop in at Ball's, and they'll be happy to take care of reservations from 1 to, well, you name it. By mail, just drop your ticket order and check to owner Dick Malilli in care of Ball's Card Shop, 2 Lafayette Street, Utica, or call Dick at RE3-7005. And attention Yankee fans in the Syracuse area. You, too, can now make your ticket reservations for Yankee ball games as a service of the Yankees' AAA affiliate, the Syracuse Chiefs. If you're attending a game in MacArthur Stadium, you can do it right there at the box office or call Bruce Baker at 474-7833. By mail, just drop your ticket order and check to Bruce Baker, Syracuse Chiefs, MacArthur Stadium, Syracuse, New York. All right, Steve Hamilton. That hand was for Elston Howard, who had come out to warm up Steve Hamilton while Jake Gibbs was getting the gear on. Now Jake is back there with all the gear on. Hamilton just about ready to conclude his warm-up. And he'll be pitching to the bottom third of the order. Price, Gutierrez, and the new pitcher, John Hiller. Bob?
Well, Phil, they held up the second game a while because the first game ended early. But, hey, we went an hour with 2 innings, but it was exciting baseball.
Yes, it was.
But by the time the night's over, it may be sorry that we held it up a little. All right, we got set for the top half of the third inning. Tigers leading at 4-3. And it looks as if both ball clubs are going to wind up using a lot of players before this is over. Jim Price steps in. Hit into a force play to end the first inning. Outstanding player was by Gene Michael, who went way over in the hole to come up with it. Steve Hamilton in the windup. And the pitch. Price takes outside for ball one. Got to watch for the floater any time now. He couldn't throw the folly floater last inning because there were men on base. 1 ball and no strikes. Hamilton winds. The pitch. Curve in there for the called strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers leading 4-3 in the third inning of the nightcap. They won the opener 2-1. Steve Hamilton winds. The left-hander throws the floater. Here it comes. Price swings. A high pop-up foul outside of third. Penny over to the railing. He can't get it. In the seats, it's a strike. 1-2. I want to tell you, Price was ready to come back, and Price almost hit the umpire. He went back so far.
He was really leaning with that pitch all the way, and he almost hit it straight up in the air. He wanted to hit it so badly. Hamilton really gets the crowd alive with that pitch.
All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hamilton into the windup. Stops at the top. Fastball swung on and fouled. And that was the folly faker.
So they call that the hesitation hummer.
A hesitation hummer. Well, what it is he makes believe that he's going to throw the folly floater and then just whips it in. 1-2.
Look at Price.
Price is going to get the pine tar. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him. Price, the first man up here in the third inning. 4-3, the Tigers lead the Yankees. Hamilton made out he was going to throw that blooper pitch. You know, people who haven't been following Yankee baseball, we got to always explain it so they don't think we're crazy. 1-2. Here's the windup. Regular curveball lined over second for a base hit in the center field. So Jim Price gets a base hit as Hamilton was playing it straight on that one, and it wound up a line drive base hit. He got foul balls on the folly floater and the hesitation hummer. And then he just tried a regular curveball, and Price got a base hit. Here's Cesar Gutierrez, who flied out to right field his first time up. Fans, of course, would love to see Hamilton stay in there and do well. If they get a chance maybe to see it next inning again. The pitch to Gutierrez. Hard ground ball foul outside of third, strike 1. He was taking the bunt that time, and then at the last minute he stepped back and he swung. No balls and 1 strike. All in 1 to Gutierrez. Tigers leading at 4-3, top half of the third inning. The stretch and the pitch. Hit in the air, foul, and into the seats. Right field side, hits in the upper deck and back down. No balls and 2 strikes. Tigers leading 4-3, top half of the third inning. The Tigers won the opener 2-1. But there's been more excitement in 2 innings plus in this game than there was in the entire 9 innings of the opener. No balls and 2 strikes to count on Gutierrez. That folly floater is a huge blooper pitch, but Hamilton just throws practically right up in the air, and it just floats down in the vicinity of the plate. Throw to first, getting back is Jim Price. And the hesitation hummer is when he fakes that he's going to do it on the next pitch and then just whips it in fast. No balls and 2 strikes to Gutierrez. The pitch, hit on the ground, foul outside of third. Grover Riesinger, the third base coach, had to dance out of the way of that one. No balls and 2 strikes. Steve Hamilton checks the run of Price. The pitch to Gutierrez, hit on the ground, foul outside of third again. And it's still no balls and 2 strikes. Hamilton cannot throw either the folly floater or the hesitation hummer with a man on base. It would be ruled a balk. He got a decision from the league president on that. Oh, Hamilton still gives pretty good reasons why it shouldn't be. Nonetheless, he abides by the decision. He's allowed to throw it with nobody on, but he can't throw it with somebody on base. No balls, 2 strikes to Gutierrez. Pitcher John Hiller's on deck. Here's the pitch. He just reaches out, lifts a base hit in the center field. Down to second goes Price. He holds on. Gutierrez makes a big turn at first for some reason and then goes back. He just reached out his bat and plunked it in the center field. And the Tigers have back-to-back singles to start off the 3rd inning. And John Hiller will be coming up in an obvious bunt situation.
Well, no doubt it'll be the bunt, and Hiller, a left-hand batter, will be trying to lay one down, and this should be interesting. If he does lay one down, they get a good shot for Price at third base. Price with not too much speed. Well, left-hand pitcher that bats right-handed.
Gene Michael is coming in to talk to Steve Hamilton about the possibilities here. Tigers have him on again, 1st and 2nd, and nobody out. They lead 4-3 in the top half of the 3rd inning. Been a wild and woolly nightcap. All right, look where Pete Ward is. He's almost at the plate. The pitch. Low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Jerry Kenny did not come in that much. He's anchoring at 3rd. Of course, the idea for Hiller would be to bunt it down towards 3rd, draw Kenny in. The stretch. Squares around, bunts the ball right in front of the plate. Hamilton over to Kenny for 1. The throw to first base. Safe at first base. Just missed that big triangle double play. But they get the key man at 3rd base. Jim Price forced at 3rd, and he was out by a mile. Ball bunted right back to Hamilton, right where the Yankees would like it, especially with a left-handed pitcher. He just had to whip it over there. And Kenny alertly threw on the first and just missed.
Well, that big Steve bounced around real well for the veteran that he is.
1 out, and here's Dalton Jones, and they haven't gotten him out yet. He's hit a home run and a walk. Didn't hit the walk. He got a walk. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Jones' first chance to bat against Hamilton. Tigers leading at 4-3. 1st and 2nd and 1 out. Jones, a wicked line drive hitter as a rule. Here's the pitch. Curve is outside, and it's 1-1. Here's a fellow, Phil, a lot of people always thought would really be a good hitter in the big leagues, and somehow he just hasn't reached his potential.
It's a strange case, it really is. The only thing is they have never found a spot for him to play permanently.
Right.
There was no doubt everybody knew he could hit, but they just couldn't find a spot for him to play.
1-1 to Jones. The pitch. Swing. Line drive. Hit deep to right. Lefty going back. He has room. He has the ball. 2 outs. Gutierrez tags. Goes to 3rd. Holding at 1st is Hiller. Runners on 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. And there was another Jones line drive right on the button. All right, 2 outs. And now Steve Hamilton is 1 out away from getting out of it here on the top of the 3rd. Tigers got 2 in the 1st. The Yankees got 3 in the 1st on a home run by Roy White, a 3-run blast. Tigers got 2 in the 2nd. Yankees had 2nd and 3rd in the bottom of the 2nd, but didn't get them in. The Tigers here at 1st and 2nd, nobody out, but they haven't scored yet. 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. Gutierrez, who can move, is on 3rd. Hiller, who can't, on 1st. The pitch outside for ball 1. One ball and no strikes. Stanley's been tough all night. He's got a walk and single in this game. First game he had a triple and a double and scored both their runs. The stretch. The pitch. Stanley takes. Just missed the corner. 2 balls and no strikes. That didn't miss by an awful lot. 2-0 the count. Fans enjoying the second game. Yankee fans would love to see him win it. Pitch hit on the ground foul, and it's 2-1. Phil and I have often debated the merits of those low-scoring games compared to a free-for-all like this. Now, you couldn't say that first game was more exciting than this, could you, Phil?
I could, Bob.
The pitch hit on the ground between 3rd and short. It's in the left field for a base hit. Hiller goes to 2nd. Gutierrez is in to score. And that Mickey Stanley has done it again. 2 singles and a walk in 3 innings. He walked in the first, singled in the second, singled here in the third, and that's after scoring both runs following a triple and a double in the first game. 5-3, the Tigers lead it. Ike Brown, the next batter. Ike came up as a pinch hitter for Gates Brown in the second inning. It was the first batter that Hamlin faced. And he hit a little ground ball to first base. Pete Ward hesitated, then threw home, and it was too late. 5-3, the Tigers. They've scored in every inning. Hamilton's pitch. High for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Pitchers of record right now are Stan Bonson and John Hiller. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and what a cut he took. 1-1. Bonson left with 1 out in the second inning. Here's the pitch. Curve is in there for the called strike, and it's 1-2. The stretcher and the pitch. Swinging a pop-up foul, coming back and onto the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stan Bonson gave up 2 runs in the first inning on 2 hits, one of which was a home run by Jones. Second inning, he faced 4 men. Got 1 out, 2 hits and a walk. Pitch a little blooper hit in the center field. Bobby Murcer under it, and he makes the catch to the sides retired. Brown did not get good wood on that ball. Actually didn't get his body behind it. He flies out to center field. However, the Tigers get another run in the third inning. They had 3 hits, no Yankee errors, and 2 left. At the end of 2.5, the Tigers 5 and the Yankees 3.
Take a tip from Tup. Join the WGY Yankee Booster Club and get in on all the fun and bonuses of being an official WGY Yankee Booster Club member. Here's all you do. WGY is selling GE solid state FM AM radios for only $9.95, including postage and handling, comparable to $14 in retail stores. Comes complete with earphones and batteries. Order today. You'll also receive a Yankee membership card, Yankee postcard, and Yankee sticker. Send $9.95, check or money order, to WGY Box 277, Schenectady. That's WGY Box 277, Schenectady. Because of heavy demand, please allow a reasonable time for delivery. Tell the world how you feel about the Yankees. Join the WGY Yankee Booster Club. Speaking of our favorite ball team, let's get back to today's game.
We're going to the bottom of the third. Detroit leading 5-3. The Tigers have 7 hits. The Yankees have 3. And for the Yankees, Roy White, who hit the 3-run homer in the first inning, will be ready to lead off. Only this time, Roy will be switching around to bat right-handed against the left-handed John Hiller. And here is Bob.
All right, Roy White steps in. He'll get a nice hand following that 3-run homer that he hit. First pitch to Roy, swinging a foul back, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. White hitting an even 300. His average fell below the 300 mark in the first game of the doubleheader for the first time since the 4th game of the season. Hiller delivers. White takes outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. Hiller has only started 1 game in 31 appearances. White bloops one beyond second, but going back to make the catch, second baseman Dalton Jones, and there's 1 out. 1 up and 1 down. And it brings up Danny Cater, who is going to pinch hit for Pete Ward. Looked down and saw Cater, and you more or less expect him because he plays at most ball games. But then I just realized Pete Ward is expected to bat, so Cater is the pinch hitter. Danny Cater to pinch hit with 1 out in the bottom of the third. 5-3, the Tigers lead it. Cater will probably go in to play first base. Hiller winds and delivers. Outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss for the call. Strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Danny Cater. Roy White has popped out to start off the bottom of the third. 5-3, the Tigers lead it. First game to the Tigers, 2-1. The windup by Hiller and the pitch. Swing and a bounce to the third. Big hop, and it stayed with it by Ward. His throw to first is in time. Ward really stayed with that one. A huge hop, and he just smothered it in his chest. And he made the play on Danny Cater. 2 out. Well, this has been a very quiet bottom of the third inning. The 2 up and 2 down. It brings up Kurt Blefrey. Blefrey flat out to center field his first time up. Phil will have a complete rundown on the scores for you after the next out. 5-3, the Tigers lead it, bottom of the third. Hiller into the windup and the pitch, high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Hiller doesn't look like the type of relief pitcher who can go all the way from the second inning either. Well, it's the pitch hit for a long drive to right field. Maybe a little bit too high. Coming in and under it is Northrup. He makes the catch and the side's retired. Blefrey got under that ball just a little bit too much. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. At the end of 3, the Tigers 5, the Yankees 3. For the scores in the next 3 innings, Phil Rizzuto.
Right on the scoreboard, Cleveland shut out the Orioles 4-0. Dean Chance the winner all the way. Cuellar the loser. Tony Horton, Holman in the first with 2 on, and Greg Nettles in the 6th, his 17th. In the second game at the end of 4.5, it's Baltimore 3, Cleveland 1, Harden against Dunning. The Senators lead the Red Sox 3-2 at the end of 7, Hartenstein against Cox. And Mike Andrews got his 11th home run of the year and the 3rd for the Red Sox. The White Sox beat Milwaukee 7-3 this afternoon. Janeski the winner, Downing the loser. Bill Melton got his 20th home run of the year for the White Sox. Oakland 3, Kansas City nothing, end of 2. Segui for Oakland. Rooker started, Fitzmaurice in the second. Angels fail to score on the top of the first, Twins batting. Messersmith against Zepp. The Mets fail to score on the top of the first, Cardinals batting. It's Seaver 16-5 against Nelson Bryles of the Cardinals. Pittsburgh shut out the Phillies 4-0 in the first game. Ellis the winner, Bunning the loser. That game took only 1 hour and 47 minutes to play. Second game, Phillies scored 2 in the first. Pirates batting. And at the end of 1 half inning, it's Phillies 2, Pirates nothing. Champion against Dal Canton. Cubs 2, Montreal nothing, end of 4. Holtzman against Morton. The Giants beat Cincinnati 9-3. Rieberger the winner. Washburn the loser. Tony Perez got his 32nd home run of the year and now has 100 RBIs on the year. And the first pitch, what a play by Clark, the throw. He dropped it. Oh, he was just ready to call him out. As Norm Cash hit a ground ball over second, Clark made a great backhand stop. His throw would have been in time. A little low. Danny Cater dropped the ball. It'll go as a base hit. A fine effort by Horace Clark. And it's a base hit for Norm Cash, who has now walked twice and singled. And now Russ Nicholson, who bounced to second and struck out. Willie McCovey got his 28th home of the year with 2 on for the Giants in that game. Nicholson takes a strike. The Dodgers at L.A. are laid to start, and Houston at San Diego are laid to start. One strike. The Yankees trailing 5-3. Steve Hamilton in relief of Stan Bonson. Throw to first base, and Cash is back. Hamilton's pitch side on Kurt Bonnet. It's a beauty. Kenny up with it, fires to first just in time. That play goes 5-3. Third baseman to the first baseman covering. It's a sacrifice. Beautiful sacrifice by Nagelson. It brings up Don Wirt. Wirt single to right. The drive in a run in the first inning. Fly to left in the second. And I might add, fly deep to left with the bases loaded. He sent White back on the warning track almost against the fence near the 402-foot sign. Been a long 3 innings, Frank Messer.
It has, and I'm going to shake you up in just a second.
Uh-oh. All right, 1 out. Wirt swings, pops it up, it's playable. Jake Gibbs, and look out, Cater. Now Gibbs calls and makes the catch. And it's 2 away. And the batter will be Jimmy Price, who has bounced to short and single to center.
Looking back at that ball Norm Cash hit.
Yes.
Would you believe an error has been charged to Danny Cater?
Oh, no, I don't believe it. Who is our official scorer tonight?
Joe Donnelly, I believe.
Joe Donnelly?
I believe so.
I will have to be giving Mr. Donnelly a call. Unbelievable.
If there were to be an error, I think I'd have to go the other way.
Yes,
the throw in the dirt.
Throw is in the dirt, right. There's a ball popped to shallow right field. Blefary will have to hurry. Digging loses the hat. Look out, and Clark coming makes a one-hand catch. Holy cow, how Clark ever got there, I'll never know. I thought Blefary was the only one that had a chance to catch it. But Clark came out of nowhere, has averted a collision, made a great play. So, as of now, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and a man left. And at the end of 3.5, it's Detroit 5 and the Yankees 3.
Well, while Phil goes to argue with the official score, we're going to tell you about something that's always very, very worthwhile, and that is the annual baseball game between the Yankees and the New York Mets, the Mayor's Trophy game, with the proceeds going to further the Sandlot baseball program here in the New York area. Certainly for a very worthwhile cause. Everybody always has a lot of fun, and don't you think these players don't go all out to win that ball game? Of the 7 games played, the Mets have won 5, so the Yankees have some catching up to do, and they'll try to start catching up here in their own backyard, Yankee Stadium, Monday night, August 17th. The 8th annual Mayor's Trophy game will start at 7 o'clock Monday night, August 17th. So we hope you'll get your tickets and be on hand to enjoy the fun, enjoy a good baseball game. I know that as you buy your ticket, you're helping the kids in New York to play Sandlot baseball by furthering that program. Bill, you back?
Yes, I'm back. I have made my call, and Joe Donnelly is thinking it over. I'll let you know in just a little while whether I've persuaded him to change his call. Here's Jerry Kenny. Swings and misses strike 1. Jerry struck out his first time up. Yankees trail 5-3 in the bottom of the 4th. Still his pitch high and tight. 1-1. So neither Joe Niekro nor Stan Bonson stayed around very long in this ball game, as both clubs had their hitting shoes on very early in the game. There's a curve outside, 2-1.
I think we see that quite often, Phil. The first game of doubleheader, see a tight pitcher's duel. Second game, the hitters really break out.
Yeah, and you can't figure it out. There's this strike on the outside corner. There's no rhyme or reason for it. You would think the second game would be just the opposite. Players might be so tired, but here it is. The first game, a 2-1 thriller, and this one looks like it could be any score. Pops it up at third base downward in foul territory. Makes the catch right alongside Dick Hauser. And there's 1 away. That'll bring up Gene Michael. Gene lined hard to first base his first time up. Tigers scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. All 3 Yankee runs coming in the bottom of the first on a 3-run homer by Roy White. Johnny Ellis is on deck, so it looks like that's going to be all for Steve Hamilton. First pitch is strike 1 to Gene Michael. He started a bunt, takes it, and it's strike 2 call. 0-2. Outfield straight away on Gene, batting right-handed against the left-handed Hiller. The curve outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What a beautiful night for this twin bill. 1-2 pitch, a curve outside, and it's 2-2. Yankees need this ball game. They want to remain in second place. Right now, Detroit ahead of the Yankees by a half game in their battle for second place. The 2-2 pitch, low and inside, ball 3. So after falling behind 0-2, Michael has worked the count full. And a big payoff pitch coming up. The Orioles lost their first game to Cleveland. As a line drive in a left center field, but coming on is Stanley, and he makes the catch. And we pause for station identification.
This is Shannon in the Morning, coming your way Monday through Saturday, 5:30 to 10, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
So big Johnny Ellis comes on to do the batting. 2 out and nobody on. John Hiller getting the sign. He winds his pitch outside and high, ball 1. Fastball foul back on the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Hiller kicks, off-speed pitch, line hard but foul in the seats alongside the left field foul line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Fastball foul just below it. That's a new dance step that Frank Messer just came up with. You should have seen it. The in at him to the left-right dodge. That was beautiful. Quick. He started to go for it and was coming back too fast. As I leaned to my right, Frank leaned to his left. The 1-2 pitch again. Line deep but foul to left field.
I was just leaning out of the way to give you room to catch that one.
Right. Listen, you're a lot better than we had a couple. Red Barber, as soon as the foul was hit, he'd go right underneath the table. Somebody just brought a check to Frank Messer. How do you like that? The 1-2 pitch. Hard line drive caught by Donward. Ball hit right on the button. So 2 line drives that inning, but no base hits, nobody left, and at the end of 4 full innings, it's Detroit 5 and the Yankees 3.
Mid-Hudson Yankee fans, attention. You can now make all your Yankee ticket reservations without leaving the WBNR broadcast area. In cooperation with the Fishkill National Bank and Wayne Oldsmobile and Cadillac, you can make your ticket plans for each and every Yankee game through September 27th right in the Beacon-Newburgh area. Wayne Oldsmobile and Cadillac is located in Newburgh at 190 South Robinson Avenue, which is Route 9W, about 2 miles south of the Beacon-Newburgh Bridge. And the Fishkill National Bank, well, they've got 5 conveniently located branches in Beacon, Cold Spring, Hopewell Junction, Fishkill Main Street, and the Fishkill Brinkerhoff office. So stop by these new Yankee reservation centers and pick up a schedule, pick out a game, and pick up your ticket reservations. The outlets again are the 5 branches of the Fishkill National Bank in and around the Beacon area, and Wayne Oldsmobile and Cadillac in Newburgh.
We have a new pitcher coming on, Frank. You got him in your glasses?
Here's Ron Klimkowski. So the Klimmer will come on to pitch to Gutierrez. Then the pitcher will be due for Detroit, and then the top of the order. Steve Hamilton goes 2 2/3 innings. Hamilton gave up 1 run, 3 hits. Walked 1 and struck out about it. Klimkowski has done just about everything for the Yankees. He has started. He's worked in long relief and short relief. He's coming into his 31st ball game with a record of 3 wins and 4 losses. He started only 2 times and pitches to an earned run average of 3.14. Sure that Phil and Bob talked about it before, but in case you weren't listening, we'd like to tell you that Mayor John Lindsay has proclaimed Saturday, August 8th as Casey Stengel Day here in New York City. Stengel, the guest of honor at Old Timers Day Saturday here at the stadium. And the mayor will honor Stengel in formal ceremonies in the Blue Room of City Hall tomorrow morning at 11:30. Both Casey and his wife, Mrs. Edna Stengel, who arrived in town from Glendale, California tonight, will be at City Hall tomorrow at 11:30, accompanied by Lee McPhail, Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Yankees, and Mr. George Weiss, the Yankee General Manager during Casey's managerial days here at the stadium. Mr. Weiss was also General Manager and President of the Mets, while Casey was the Mets pilot. Mayor Lindsay will present the Bronze Medallion of the City of New York to Casey tomorrow. The medallion, the highest award presented by the City of New York. Right now, Klimkowski ready to take on Cesar Gutierrez, and here's Phil.
All right, Frank, the first pitch to Gutierrez, he bluffs the bunt, takes a strike. Cesar fly to right, single to center so far in this game. And in the first game, he beat out a beautiful bunt. He was 1 for 4 in the first game. Little right-hand batter, Klimkowski's pitch bounced to third. Backhanded by Kenny. Nice play. Fires to first in time. Oh, that was a pretty play by Jerry Kenny. And Klimkowski really hit the deck as Jerry had to fire right over Klimkowski's head. So 1 out. And now John Hiller bunted into a forced play, his only time at bat in this ball game. Joe Negro, who started the game, was at bat one time, singled and scored a run. When neither starting pitcher was around, pitch to Hiller, curve in there, strike 1 call. Klimkowski's curve again in there, strike 2. On deck, Dalton Jones. Another curve, bounce to third. Kenny has this on a big hop, easy play. Fires to first. And there are 2 away. I still have a hit up there for Norm Cash, Frank.
Nope.
Still waiting for word, I know it. Mr. Donnelly. Dalton Jones homered leading off the ball game, walked and scored in the second, and then lined deep to right field in the third. Dick McAuliffe, Tigers' regular second baseman, getting a rest, as is Al Kaline in his second game of the doubleheader. There's a strike. Fastball just above the knees. Two out, nobody on. 5-3 Tigers lead. Breaking pitch swung at and missed, and that pitch was in and down. 0-2. Yankees lost the first game 2-1. Klimkowski winds. Curve swung at and missed. Caught on 1 hop by Gibbs. He fires to Danny Cater. So that's a strikeout. Gives Gibbs an assist and Cater a putout. 3 up, 3 down, and now at the end of 4.5, it's Detroit 5, New York 3.
Well, the Yankees and the Tigers wind up this series tomorrow night with a single game here at the stadium at 8 o'clock, and it looks like a pair of left-handers will be the probables. Les Kane very possibly will go for Detroit if his shoulder is okay. And for the New York Yankees, Mike McCormick is the probable starter. Game starts at 8 o'clock here at the stadium.
All right, Horace Clark, the top of the order. Hiller's pitch is inside, ball one. Clark hit to the box and walks. Bottom of the fifth inning. The pitch is hit in a shallow right field. Could be trouble. And it drops for a base hit. And gets away from the second baseman. And Clark goes in at second. Good heads-up base running by Horace Clark. As he dumped one in shallow right field, Dalton Jones caught it on one hop. And the ball popped out of his glove. And Clark went sliding into second base. And we're going to give Clark a double. Have to wait and see what Mr. Donnelly gives him. And the batter, Jake Gibbs, who has singled and doubled and scored a run in this game. All right, Clark's at second base. A double. It's a double for Horace Clark. The pitch to Gibbs, a bouncer foul outside of first, bouncing into the stand.
That's first base runner against Hiller, who came out in the second inning, struck out Murcer, got the side in order in the third and fourth.
That's right, he had retired 7 in a row. All right, one strike on Jake Gibbs. Yankees trail 5-3, but nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. Clark leads away. Hiller kicks, his pitch is high, almost got away from Price. 1-1. And on deck, Bobby Murcer. Hiller sets again, high and outside again. Ball 2-1. So Hiller wants a new baseball. Gets it from plate umpire John Rice. Rice the umpire, Price the catcher. The 2-1 delivery. Outside, ball 3-1. Oh, the Yankee fans coming alive here. They haven't had too much to cheer about. In the first game, they scored just 1 run. In this game, they scored their 3 runs in 1 inning. Now the 3-1 pitch. Strike call. Jake had started down to first base, had taken 2 steps. And John Rice said, "Oh, come on back, Jake." Full count, 3-2. All right, the stretch now by Hiller. Clark leads off second. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Threw him a slider and got him. Hiller's second strikeout since coming in the ball game, and a big one. And it brings up Bobby Murcer. Bobby has walked and struck out. Murcer and Gibbs were on when Roy White unloaded his long home run in the first inning. And Roy is on deck. Pitch to Bobby Murcer is a curve, high and tight, ball 1. Well, now they want to take a look at that baseball. And Rice is going to throw it out of play. Bobby Murcer saw something on it he didn't like. All right, ready for the 1-0 pitch. Bobby swings, hits it down the left field line, digging hard as Ike Brown on the warning track. And did he get it? It's a home run! It hit his glove and went into the stand for a 2-run homer. How do you like that? He got to it. The ball hit right in his glove, and it went right into the stand. And Bobby Murcer gets himself a dip home run.
That's exactly it. It ties the ball game 5-5. And watching the play with the binoculars, Phil, that's exactly what happened. Brown caught the ball, had it in his glove going toward the seat. The ball popped out of his glove and fell into the seat, which makes it a home run. It did not touch the ground.
All right, Frank, and here's Roy White, who hit a home run with 2 on in the first inning, pops the second, takes a pitch high, ball 1.
Now, Bobby Murcer had only one home run the whole month of July, July 1st, now has hit back-to-back home runs in 2 nights.
Right, he has that. And both off left-hand pitchers. All right, Roy White now with the count, 2 balls, no strikes. We got a brand new ball game here, all tied 5-5. Miller kicks, delivers it slow, ball 3, 3-0. As we told you earlier, when Ike Brown went out to left field, he is an infielder. Occasionally plays the outfield. It's pretty tough when an infielder goes out there. That's a lot of room out there, and you're kind of lost. There's the strike to Roy, 3-1. And Ike Brown got to the ball after losing his cap, but it hit right in his glove and bounced right into the stand. The 3-1 delivery, swing and a miss, and Roy was going for that home run out in front of the curveball, 3-2. So Bobby Mercer's 17th home run of the year and now has 54 runs batted in. Fastball is low, ball 4. First walk given up by Hiller. White on first, and the batter now, Danny Cater. Pete Ward started the game at first base. Pete was at bat once and walked. Cater came on and batted for Ward in the third and bounced out to third. Now there's 1 out, all tied 5-5. Yankees scored all their runs, a result of homers. 3-run homer by Roy White, a 2-run homer by Bobby Murcer. Cater really digging himself a hole at the plate. Throw to first base. White is back.
I think that's the first time I can recall seeing a fly ball hit in a fielder's glove and then bounce it out of the park for a home run. I know it's happened before.
Line drive. What a play by Wirt. You know, Frank, it's the first time I ever remember it. Playing or watching or doing a game. Yes, very unusual. But that was quite a play by Don Wirt. I don't know whether Ike Brown thought it was 3 out or whether he was backing up, but he's a little upset with that play, and he started to run in off the field. Now realizes it's only 2 out and goes back to left field, a little embarrassed, but that was quite a play by Wirt as he robbed Danny Cater of an extra base hit. First pitch to Bluffery is strike 1 call. Bluffery fly to center and fly to right. Hiller's curve is high outside, 1-1. 2 out, 2 runs in, all tied 5-5, bottom of the 5th. Roy White leads away at first. There's a curve low, ball 2-1. Hiller drops the ball out on the mound. Walks down, picks it up. Now the stretch. Curve swung out and missed. Evens the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball to center field. Starting back as Stanley now come running in and makes the catch. But the Yankees tie it up. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, a man left. And at the end of 5, it's Detroit 5 and the Yankees 5.
Well, the grounds crew has done its work on the infield. And we settle back for the second half of this ball game. The Yankees have come from behind twice now. They were down 2-0 in the first, went ahead 3-2 in the bottom half of the first. Then down 5-3, and they've tied it up on the home run by Bobby Murcer. And Mickey Stanley is set to lead off the top half of the 6th.
All right, Ron Klimkowski is now the pitcher of record along with John Hiller. The Yankees have used Stan Bonson, Steve Hamilton, and now Klimkowski. Mickey Stanley has walked single twice and has driven in 2 runs. And Jim Northrup is on deck swinging a bat and looks like he'll bat for Brown. As a bouncing ball, Clark to his right has it. Fires and in time to first base. Horace really bouncing around now in this second ball game. And Northrup will come on to bat for Ike Brown. So Northrup, who has had kind of a gimpy leg, is in there. In the first game, Northrup had a single, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. He knocked in the winning run with that sacrifice fly, by the way, in the 5th inning. So he was 1 for 2 in that first game, and he hits one in deep left center. Way back, way back. And Roy White catches it, falls down, does a somersault, and holds on to it. Holy cow. That ball was hit about 420 feet to deep left center. And Roy White, after catching the ball, lost his cap, fell down, turned completely over, and there goes Northrup's helmet flying out of the dugout, and I don't blame him. He was robbed of a triple at least. What a play by Roy White. It brings up Norm Cash, who has walked twice, and I still say has an infield hit. But Joe Donnelly says an error was given to Cater on a great stop by Clark, a off-balance throw that was in the dirt. One strike, 2 out, nobody on, 5-5 the score. Foul upstairs, out of play. Oh, and 2. Klimkowski checks the sign with Gibbs. Bouncing ball to first base. Cater has it. He'll make the play unassisted. And Klimkowski, for the 2nd inning in a row, retires the Tigers in order. At the end of 5 1/2, it's still the Tigers 5, the Yankees 5. All right, we get ready to go. So Northrop remains in the ball game and will play left field. He batted for Brown. He stays in at left field. Kenny swings and misses. High fastball by Hiller. Kenny is struck out and popped to third base. All tied at 5-5. Pitch to Kenny is a little bit low, 1-1. Frank Murcer will have all the scores for you at the end of this half inning. The 1-1 delivery. He bunts, but it goes foul. Man, Kenny would have beaten that one out easily had it stayed fair. You talk about a run and jump. He had it that time. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees lost the first game 2-1, and this game is all tied up 5-5. Long road trip by the Yankees just concluded. Tigers are on the start of a real rough road trip. The 1-2 pitch, he checked his swing and it's high, 2-2. Line drive to left field. Fair ball. Fair ball. Kenny's going to be in at second base with a stand-up double. And that looked like a high inside fastball, and Kenny drilled it over third into left field, right down the corner. The Yankees base hit number 6, and it brings up Gene Michael. Gene line to first and line to center. Swings and misses, strike one. The Yankees have had 6 base hits, 5 of them extra base hits. And Lindy McDaniel gets up in the Yankee bullpen. All tied at 5-5, and Thurman Munson is coming out on deck. So let's see now if the Yankees go for the sacrifice. Here's the stretch. Michael starts the bunt, takes it low, 1-1. Thurman Munson is in the on-deck circle. Now, this could be a decoy, or he could be sending Munson up to bat for Klimkowski. Jerry Kenny leads off second. The pitch, Michael bunts it down third. It's a dandy. And Hiller looks to throw. Not in time. He saved the base hit. Beautiful bunt by Gene Michael. He caught them all off balance. Hiller caught the ball, took a look at third base, and that's what ruined his chances of getting Michael. It'll be a single. For Gene Michael, runners at first and third, nobody out. And now Thurman Munson will come on to bat for Klimkowski. But first we'll pause for station identification.
This is your Guy High Agent. Join me for your kind of music, weekdays, 3 to 7, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
Looks like we're going to have a new pitcher, Frank, a right-hander.
That's it. Hiller is out of the ball game now. He goes 3 1/3 innings. Has given up 2 runs, 4 hits. Walked only 1 and struck out 2 men. And the double by Jerry Kenny to left field. Looked like Kenny picked that ball right off his left ear, didn't it, Phil?
Sure did, Frank.
And the bunt single perfectly placed by Gene Michael. And John Hiller goes out of the ball game. Thurman Munson, that's a tough spot for Munson right now. He's got a 12-game hit streak going, and technically, if he doesn't get a base hit as a pinch hitter here, it would end.
That's right, it certainly would. And that is a tough break, but this young man done pretty well as a pinch hitter, I believe, this year.
I think he's done very well. In fact, he may be batting 1,000 as a pinch hitter. 3 for 4, that's right.
Pretty good. 750's not bad in any league. Jimmy Hunter tells us it's number 43 coming in. And number 43.
What always happens to all of the number lists, it's probably Darrell Patterson. That's what it is.
Darrell Patterson. All right, Darrell Patterson. And if I remember rightly, he's a hard-throwing right-hander.
Darrell Patterson has a record of 2-1. He's been in 24 games. He's also credited with 2 saves.
All right, he's having a long huddle out there with Price as Mayo Smith leaves.
Maybe the first time Price has caught him in a long time. Price doesn't get in too many games.
Oh, that's true. He doesn't with that Freehan out there.
Well, let's see what Patterson has done against the Yankees this year. He's been in only 1 ball game, I believe. July the 1st in Detroit. That was an 11-inning ball game. Detroit won it 6-5, and Patterson pitched 1 1/3 innings. Did not give up a run or a hit. He walked 1 and didn't strike out anybody. Well, the names are still going up on the message board of those accepting invitations for Old Timers Day. Just glancing up there right now, Yogi Berra, Dominic DiMaggio, and Bob Turley. I'll tell you, Phil, there's a trio right there worth going out to see if there wasn't anybody else.
Absolutely. That's the little professor, Dominic DiMaggio, and the old professor, Casey Stengel. That's what they used to call Dominic, because he looked like a teacher with the big glasses he wore, very scholarly, hardly ever smiled, you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He and Joe DiMaggio would say hello at the beginning of the year and goodbye at the end of the year. Brothers, you know, and they were brothers, but a very closed-mouthed family at that time. But now both of them, since being out of baseball, have become extroverts now.
Really?
It's hard to shut either one up.
How about Vince? Was he like the other two?
Vince exactly like the other two, except that he had studied opera, and he would sing at the drop of a hat.
Would it have to be an opera hat?
No. I roomed with him for a while in Kansas City.
Oh, really?
I was very fortunate, but, you know, you like to room with big leaguers and talk to them when I was in the minor leagues. But as much as I love the opera, he got to me.
How was he a good singer?
Oh, yes.
He was.
Very good. But, you know, when you're in those small minor league hotels, and there's only one place, go in the bathroom and sing, you always sound better off.
Would he sing in Italian?
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, that takes care of the DiMaggios. Let's get back here now with Thurman Munson.
Okay. Thurman Munson. So Munson kept his hitting streak going in the first game. He was 1 for 3 with a walk and a run batted in. There's a throw to first. But Michael is back. Kenny bluffing coming down the line at third, so Cash holds the ball. So the Yankees have good speed now on the bases and at home plate. Nobody out, a 5-5 ball game in the bottom of the sixth. The stretch by Patterson. The pitch to Munson. Outside, ball one. Horace Clarke is on deck. Patterson gets the sign. And he leads wide of third in foul territory. The pitch is a little bit high. 2-0, and Patterson almost stumbled off the mound, and Price wanted to know why that wasn't a strike. Two balls, no strikes. What happens sometimes on those close calls, the catcher will jump up too quickly, and he'll actually block the umpire's view of the pitch. All right, Patterson sets again. His pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike. That pitch was out of the strike zone, but Thurman was guessing and going for it. You can't blame him. Ahead 2-0. Get a pitch he likes, he'd at least get a long fly ball. Nobody out. 5-5 the score. Gene Michael with a good lead at first. Kenny leading off third. The 2-1 pitch, a bouncer up the middle, but right there the second baseman steps on the bag, throws to first, double play. The run scores. The Yankees go out in front 6-5, but Munson bounces into a double play. 4-4-3. Dalton Jones backhanded that high-hopping ground ball, stepped on second and threw to first. No RBI for Munson, but the Yankees go out in front 6-5. And now Horace Clarke hit to the box, walked and double to right field and scored ahead of Murcer's home in the fifth. So Patterson delivers to Clarke. It's high, ball one. Dalton Jones was shading Munson over that way, and it looked like it might be a base hit, a bouncer right over the pitcher's head, almost over the bag. Line, oh, that off Patterson's glove. Jones is there, fires to first. They got him. And I want to tell you, that play had everything. It almost took Patterson's head off. He slowed it down with his glove. Jones picked it up through to Cash, whose foot came off that bag way too soon, and called out at first base, but it was excitement all the way. 1-4-3. The Yankees pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. The end of 6 is the Yankees 6, Detroit 5. Frank Messer will have all the scores for you and carry you right down to the wire.
Now Lindy McDaniel is on the pitch for the Yankees, and we go to the 7th inning. Russ Nagelson leads things off for the Detroit Tigers. Nagelson, left-hand batter, is 0 for 2, and he has a sacrifice. He takes low, ball 1. Ron Klunkowski pitched 2 perfect innings, retired 6 men in a row, struck out 1 of them. Got a great catch behind him by Roy White. There's a fastball for a strike, and John Rice, a little undecided what to call it, and good gracious, is the Detroit bench getting on him or not? John Rice now puts up a finger on each hand, signifying 1-1. Mayo Smith is really getting on Rice from the Detroit dugout. There's a pitch low and outside to make it 2-1. The Tigers have not agreed with Mr. Rice on several occasions tonight. And now John Rice looks over, and it appears that he is warning the bench that he doesn't want to hear any more. 2 balls and a strike to Nagelson. McDaniel kicks and deals down low, and it's ball 3, 3-1. Word on deck, and then Price. 3-1 pitch. Right down the middle for call strike 2, and the count goes full 3-2 to Nagelson. Lindy McDaniel is not allowed a run in his last 9 appearances, covering 17 innings. He has an ERA of 1.67, and he walks Nagelson with a ball 4 low. Lindy McDaniel has picked up 7 saves in his last 9 outings. Now Don Wirt, with the Yankees leading 6-5. Wirt has singled, hit a long fly ball to left field, and fouled out to the catcher, Jake Gibbs. McDaniel off the stretch. Cater holding on the runner and the pitch. Wirt takes it low. It's dug out of the dirt by Gibbs. Lindy McDaniel, in 40 appearances, has now walked only 13 men. He delivers the 1-0 pitch, and it's low. No, it gets the outside corner at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Jim Price is on deck. Gator holding against the base runner Nagelson. Infield set for the double play possibility. McDaniel turns it loose. Curveball is hit in the air to left field. Roy White digging to his left, now goes back, and makes the catch. White went to his left first, then had to backpedal, and pulls it in deep left field. And I'll tell you, Roy White has had a lot of ground to cover out there tonight. He caught Don Wirt's drive next to the seats in the second inning. He caught Jim Northrup's drive in deep left center, about 420 feet or so back. And now he goes deep to take care of Wirt again. Jim Price steps in. Strike 1 call. Now Price is going to argue with Rice. No balls and a strike to Jim Price. The catcher has gone 1 for 3 tonight. Price still has not stepped in. Now he moves into the batter's box. Nagelson, short lead at first base. Only 1 step right now. That's all he takes. There's the set. Here's the pitch. There he goes. Pitch is swung on. Lofted down the right field line. Digging back toward Cater in foul territory, and Cater's got it. Two away. It will bring up Cesar Gutierrez. Yankees leading 6-5 here in the top half of the 7th inning. Cesar Gutierrez is 1 for 3. Slide to right, single to center, and grounded out to third. McDaniel looks down the lane to Gibbs. There's the set. And the pitch. Line foul off the end of the bat into the mezzanine on the first base side. Yankees 6 runs, 7 hits. Detroit 5 runs, 7 hits. Detroit won the opener 2-1. McDaniel to the belt. 0-1 delivery. Line foul again, and again back in the mezzanine, just about the same spot, maybe a little deeper. No balls and 2 strikes to Cesar Gutierrez. On 2 pitch. Hit off the end of the bat on the ground to second. Horace Clark digs it up, throws to first, just in time. He's out. A close play at first base. No runs, a base hit. There were no errors, a walk, and a man left. At the end of the top of the 7th, the score: the Yankees 6 and the Tigers 5. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The fans stretching their legs here in the 7th inning stretch of the second game of the doubleheader. Jake Gibbs will be the leadoff hitter for the Yankees. Bob Gamere back over from television. Will sit in with us for the rest of this ball game.
In some second game, I don't know. These people like pitches duels. It's pretty hard to say that first game could be better than the second one, Frank.
Oh, no. Been a lot of action in this one. A lot of scoring. Wild plays. Here's the pitch to Gibbs. High and tight, and he sits down. One ball and no strikes to Jake. The windup by Patterson, the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one. Count evens 1-1. One pitch coming. Gibbs checks his swing and takes. Nope, it's now called strike 2 by John Rice. Ball and 2 strikes to Jake. Crowd tonight at 22,434 here at Yankee Stadium. One-two pitch. Hit in the air out into right field. Fairly deep, but not deep enough to be out. Waiting for it is Nagelson, and he makes the catch. So Gibbs is retired. One down, and Bobby Murcer steps in. Bobby homered in the 5th inning to tie the ball game up. Murcer hit a fly ball deep to left field, and it bounced off the glove of Ike Brown and into the seats. He takes a strike. It was Mercer's 17th home run of the year, and the first time I can ever recall seeing a ball bounce out of a fielder's glove and out of the ballpark for a home run. Bill Rizzuto's been around this game for, 27 years in the major leagues as a player and a broadcaster, and a few years before that in the minors, and he said he could never recall seeing it happen. Pitch to Murcer. Inside fastball spins him back. 1-1.
You know, Frank, I used to always say as a kid here, this was one park where conceivably you could see a 4-base error. Now, they didn't score it that way, but actually it could have been. They would have had a very mad Bobby Murcer on their hands.
There's ball 2 outside to Murcer. I did see a 4-base error in the minor leagues.
Really?
In the International League. No, it was a line drive. The left fielder didn't get it. Went off his glove, hit the wall, bounced around. The man that hit it went all the way around and scored. The pitch is inside, spins Murcer back. Ball 3 is 3-1. First of all, they had quite a conference on scoring it. First of all, they called it a triple and an error. Then they made it a double and a 2-base error. Finally, they made it a single and a 3-base error. Murcer hits one out into left field again. Meltzer throw, floats back with this one, still going back, and makes the catch over his head. And finally, after much consultation, they squatted an error all the way, and that was the only 4-base error I've ever seen. Murcer retired, 2 down. And now Roy White. White put the Yankees in the lead with a 3-run homer in the first inning, popped up in the third, and walked in the fifth. This game is seesawed back and forth. White check swing, grounded back to the mound, smothered by Patterson. He picks up, throws to first, out by a half a step, and the side is retired. The Yankees go 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. And at the end of 7, the score is New York 6 and Detroit 5. Tigers will go with a pinch hitter for Patterson. It's going to be Dick McAuliffe. McAuliffe played second base in the first game and went 0 for 4 with a walk. McAuliffe, a left-hand batter. Tigers, as we mentioned earlier, a little bit short-handed without Willie Horton and Ken Sockowitz. Horton with an ankle injury, Sockowitz with a leg injury. Now McAuliffe steps in. The pitch to him from McDaniel is low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Lindy Wines, let's fly. Strike with a fastball, 1-1. We talk a lot about Lindy's forkball, but Lindy feels his big pitch is the fastball. The forkball makes it even better, he says. Hitter has to think about the forkball. There's a fly ball hit deep to right center. Back there, though, waiting for it is Bluffery, and he's got it. Way back on the running track in front of the auxiliary scoreboard, and McAuliffe is retired. 1 down, and Dalton Jones the batter, and there have been some long fly balls in this ball game. Ball 1 to Dalton Jones. Jones homered, leading off the first inning. Then he walked, flied to right and struck out. He hits a high fly ball again to right center field. This time it's Murcer over from center in front of the scoreboard, and he's got it. Just checking back. The Yankees did not make a putout at first base until the 4th inning, I don't believe, if I read my scorecard correctly. There have been only 6, and one of those was a pop-up. Mickey Stanley, the batter. 2 for 3, and he takes low ball 1. Yankees leading at 6-5. The windup and the pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 1, a ball and a strike. Lindy McDaniel, the 4th pitcher used by the Yankees. Stan Bonson started, then Hamilton, Klimkowski, and now McDaniel. 1-1 pitch coming. Curve hit right back through the box and on over second into center field. Base hit for Stanley. And Stanley has had the hot bat this evening. 3 hits in this game. He had 2 in the opener. So he is now 5 for, let's see, 9. It brings up Jim Northrup. In the 6th inning, batting for Ike Brown, Northrup had a drive to deep left center field. It went, 420 feet anyway, and Roy White made the catch, fell down, somersaulted, and held on to it. Northrup, left-hand batter, swings and misses, strike 1. He wants John Rice to take a look at the baseball. And the ball comes out of play, so Northrop saw something on it. It's always amazing to me how these hitters standing up there will see that little smudge on the baseball as hard as it's thrown up there to the plate. Stanley leads at first. McDaniel's pitch to Northrop, foul back toward the upper deck. Yankees trying to gain a split, lost the first game 2-1, leading in this one 6-5. Oh, 0-2 the count to Northrop. McDaniel's pitch. He fouls it away again. Reached out for it. Just got the tip end of the bat on it. Again back to the upper deck on the third base side. Norm Cash is on deck. Well, we've got the guys from the New York Military Academy at Cornwall-on-the-Hudson with us tonight. Happy to have them. There's a ground ball back to McDaniel. He's got it, makes his play to first base in plenty of time to retire Northrop and the side. No runs, a base hit. There were no errors, and a man is left. At the end of the top half of the eighth inning, the score, New York 6 and Detroit 5.
Dr. Schling speaking.
Doctor, I can't see you today, Doctor, because my car isn't breathing right.
Your car isn't breathing right. Leonard, we have been through these reaction formations before. If you don't want to come, don't come. But please, none of these crazy, excuse me, I didn't mean that, these silly excuses.
Doctor, this is no excuse. Cars breathe.
Leonard, I understand how you feel.
If someone tells you that their car isn't breathing right, they're every bit as sane as you and I. Cars do breathe. At Atlantic, we make a new gasoline, Arco Supreme gasoline, that helps your car breathe in easy to breathe out cleaner. Arco Supreme helps prevent deposits from clogging the carburetor, air intake valves, and anti-pollution valve of your car. So your car gets better mileage and produces less unburned hydrocarbons to pollute the air. New Arco Supreme gasoline at your Atlantic dealer now.
All right, Bob Gamere, the star of the bullpen for Detroit, Tom Tillerman, comes on the pitch. And as Tillerman takes his warm-up throws, suppose you slip in here and tell the folks about him and carry him through the rest of this ball game.
Will do, Frank. Tillerman is coming on for his 42nd ball game. His record is 4 wins and 3 losses, and his earned run average is 4.09. The big contribution that he has made to this staff is the fact that he has 18 saves. He has saved 18 ball games, and that puts him by himself, whereas on the Yankees, Lindy McDaniel and Jack Aker both have a lot of saves. He has 18, and the closest man to him, John Hiller, has 3. The Yankees, on the other hand, the saves have fallen. It's been pretty even, in fact, dead even. 14 for McDaniel and 14 for Jack Aker. Steve Hamilton also has 3. Danny Cater will be leading it off as we go into the bottom half of the 8th inning. This game has had a little bit of everything. The Yankees lead at 6-5, and as it stands now, the key play, the one that Murcer hit the left field, and Ike Brown got his glove on the ball hit out of his glove and bounded up into the seats for a home run. Cater the batter, the pitch. Curve is in there, strike 1 from Timmerman. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, and 1 to Cater. The pitch. Danny swings and misses. It's 0-2. Cater does not start this game. He went in as a pinch hitter for Pete Ward when the left-handed pitcher John Hiller came in. No balls and 2 strikes. Timmerman's pitch is low and away, and it's 1-2. Been a long night of baseball and excitement at the stadium. Here it comes. There it goes. A bouncer out over the mound, out toward shortstop. Gutierrez gloves. It's a throw in time, and there's 1 out. Right now on Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
This is Harry Downey bringing the Upside Downey game your way weekdays 10 to 3 here on the Fresh Air Sound of Radio 81 WGY Schenectady.
out, and it brings up Leffery, who was flied out 3 times in the ball game. The pitch to Kurt, hit in the air over third base, maybe dropping in there. It is. It's a base hit down the left field line. Chasing the ball is a shortstop, Gutierrez. He picks it up, but Leffery is in standing at second with a double. And that'll be a night for Kurt Leffery. Jimmy Lytle is coming out of the Yankee dugout, and he'll be pinch running for Kurt Leffery. So Lytle is the pinch runner with 1 out in the 9th inning. And Jerry Kenny will be the batter. Last year at Detroit, Timmerman had a record of 4-3. They brought him up towards the end of the season. And the first game he ever pitched in the major leagues was right here at Yankee Stadium. And it was the first of 5 successive scoreless relief appearances. Then he stepped out of the batter's box. He's back on June the 18th of last year. To the belt goes Timmerman. The pitch to Kenny. He swings and it's a high bouncer over the box again. Over to get it, Gutierrez. He has it to throw. Out at first. And again the Yankees are going to claim that Cash took his foot off the bag. That's the second time they've claimed that. And Jerry Kenny is arguing with Ronnie Springstead, and Ralph Houk has to join the fray. He wants to keep Kenny away. That is the second time tonight. Here comes Mayo Smith out. I don't know what he's going to argue about. They're going to show that again on the TV playback here. I'll tell you. I know they allow a little leeway for the first baseman. But Norm Cash has gotten away with it twice, and it's a good play if you do it. Awful hard to detect. Of course, nobody wants to keep his foot on the bag, let's face it, because you could get spiked. So normally, if you just touch it in that split second, they'll give it to you. But he stretched it a little. 2 outs for the Yankees. Over at third base is Jimmy Lytle, the pinch runner. Mayo Smith is just out to talk to Timmerman about what to do with Gene Michael. Gene Michael's the number 8 hitter. And with Lindy McDaniel, the next scheduled batter, chances are they'll give him a free base on balls here. But let's wait and see. Price is coming back. And he's getting down in the crouch. So it looks as if they're going to pitch to Gene Michael with 2 outs and a runner on third. First pitch to Gene on the corner, strike one. No balls and 1 strike. Lindy McDaniel is on deck. Both teams with 8 hits. The Yankees 6, the Tigers 5. Tigers won the opener 2-1. Pitch is low, and it's 1-1. Baltimore and Cleveland have split. Cleveland the first game 4-0. Baltimore the second game 7-1. So if the Yankees win this, it's a Mexican standoff. 1-1 to Michael. Timmerman throws. Michael swings, foul ball, third base side off the railing, and the count's 1-2. As quiet a game as the first game was, with no Yankee hits after the 4th inning and no runs for anybody after the 5th. This one has been jam-packed. From the leadoff man, Dalton Jones' home run, right to this point. Yankees lead 6-5 at the bottom of the 8th. It's 1-2 to Gene Michael. Lytle off third. Timmerman is stretching. He isn't going in any windup. Now he goes to his motion, to the belt. The pitch, Michael swings. Line drive, base hit up the middle. In the score comes Lytle, and the Yankees lead 7-5. And now the pitcher, Lindy McDaniel, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. So the Yankees get McDaniel an insurance run as Lindy steps in. First pitch to him is low and inside for ball 1. McDaniel's batting average is 111. Zimmerman checks Michael. The pitch. McDaniel swings and misses it, and he really missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yankees have had 2 home runs. One a long line drive deep into the seats by Roy White, and the other one, the drive that Murcer hit, went out of Ike Brown's glove and into the seats. Curve is over. Strike 2. It's 1-2. And that was a big blow for the Yankees because it tied it up in the bottom of the 5th at 5-5. And the pitch. Line drive, base hit for Lindy McDaniel to center field. Ball being fielded by Stanley. Runs it in most of the way. Now he flips it to second. And McDaniel gets a base hit. First and second for the Yankees and 2 outs. So the Yankees are treating Timmerman rather roughly here in the bottom of the 8th. Although Blefley's hit was a bloop to left. Michael and McDaniel have followed with singles. And the Yankees lead at 7-5. Horace Clark has had 1 hit, but it was a big double. He swings it, he fouls at strike 1. His double, like Blefley's, was not that hard hit, but it was a big hit in the ball game. Came with the Yankees trailing 5-3. Hiller had retired 7 in a row, and he popped it into short right field, and when Jones knocked or kicked it away, he went for 2. Pitch is outside low, it's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Yankees looking for a split, and they'll play the rubber game tomorrow. The stretch. The pitch. Clark takes strike 2. It's called. It's 1-2. Seven to 5 Yankees, bottom half of the 8th inning. Thurman goes to the bell, checks the runners. He delivers, swinging a little bounce of foul over towards the Yankee dugout. The count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Timmerman is 29 years old. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. The graduate of Southern Illinois University. Big right hand to deliver. Clark swings and pops it foul and out of play. Third base side. Ball comes down into the lower deck. One ball and 2 strikes to Horace Clark. The stretch. And now stepping off is Timmerman. Clark stays right in there. Timmerman gets back on the rubber. He delivers. Clark swings and fouls it. Back behind the plate on the ground. The count holds at 1-2. The National League, the Cardinals lead the Mets 3-0 at the end of 4. Pittsburgh is in the process of winning a doubleheader. They beat the Phillies 4-0. They're leading the nightcap 6-2. They went into today with a 1-game lead in that Eastern Division. It's 1-2 to Clark. Here it comes, and there it goes. A high pop of its foul outside of first. Coming over Cash. He does not have room. It's in the stand. One and 2 to Clark. Here's the pitch. Swinging a bouncer out towards second baseman Jones. Gets it. Flips it over to the shortstop. Gutierrez, and the side's retired. For the Yankees in the 8th inning, they get a run on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left. At the end of 8, it's the Yankees 7 and the Tigers 5. Well, here's the list of the places where you can purchase tickets for the big ball games coming up at Yankee Stadium. The box seats are $4 and the reserve seats $2.75. There's never a problem purchasing Yankee tickets anywhere around the New York metropolitan area. You can pick up your tickets at the Schrass restaurants, at the Ticketron outlets such as Gimbel's and Gertz department stores, from the North Jersey AAA automobile clubs in Oradell, Patterson, and Jersey City, from Ticketron, the Yankee ticket office at the mezzanine level of the Grand Central Station, from the Yankee Stadium advanced ticket window, And through the mail, writes the ticket director, Yankee Stadium, the Bronx, New York. Ticket.
Roast beef that tastes so fine. Neighbors open most all the time. Potato nuggets and good hot ham and neighbor roast beef. Mike's up the giant kind. Biggest sandwich you'll ever find. Lunch or supper or midnight meal. It's Mike's Giant Subs.
Looking for a new kind of excitement?
Hey, come on out. Saratoga will give you the inside track.
Bright lights, flashing colors, spinning wheels. If you're looking for the kind of action you won't find anywhere else, we'll give you the inside track.
It's Saratoga Horse Racing. Saratoga.
Daily Double closes at 8, post time, 8:15.
It was 1-3, lost 2, and split 5. McDaniel, Lacash, swinging a miss, strike 1. Lindy can throw all he's got now in the 9th inning. This will be his 3rd inning of relief. No balls and 1 strike. The pitcher of record is Gronkowski, who stands to be the winner. McDaniel another save. The windup, the pitch. Fork ball misses outside, and it's 1-1. McDaniel winds. He delivers outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Doubleheaders. The Tigers have won 2, lost none, and split 5. The pitch, swing and a bounce of foul outside of first down the right field line. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two the count on Cash. McDaniel into the windup. The pitch just misses the inside corner. It's 3-2. Yankees leading at 7-5, top half of the 9th inning. McDaniel winds. The full count pitch high for ball 4. That's a rare walk given up by Lindy McDaniel. That's Lindy's 2nd walk of the night. And on the year, only his 14th base on ball in about 83 innings. Here's Russ Nagelson, and suddenly the tying run is out the plate with nobody out for the Tigers. Nagelson has 1 home run. Here's the stretch. McDaniel delivers. Nagelson swings and misses strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. To the belt goes McDaniel. The pitch. Fork ball lined out in the center field. Murcer's got a long run coming on. He makes the catch. Reached down with the glove hand and came up with it, and there's 1 out. So McDaniel gets 1 out with 1 on, and Don Ward will be the batter. Ward singled in the 1st inning. Slide out to deep left field with the bases loaded in the 2nd. Popped up in the 4th, and slide out to left field in the 7th inning. One out, and Ward's the batter. Ward has 5 home runs. The pitch is high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. One and out the count. The stretch. The pitch to Ward. He swings. Line drive hit out to right field. Lytle in his tracks. Makes the catch over his head. 2 outs. And back to first base Cash. Well, he's hit 2 solid line drives off Lindy, but they've been big outs. And let's see who the batter will be. Jim Price is due to bat. Could be Bill Freehan. Al Kaline hadn't been in the game yet. It's Bill Freehan who'll be doing the pinch hitting. So Linda McDaniel's down to the last out. I remember one night in Detroit, Freehan in the bottom of the ninth won the ball game for the Tigers with a long home run. Freehan hasn't hit for a high percentage, but he's been a home run hitter. Freehan has 15 home runs and a batting average of .232. Freehan steps in. The Yankees aren't going to worry about Cash over there on first. Nobody's going to hold him close. All right, Freehan in the batter's box. He'll be swinging for all he's worth. The stretch by McDaniel. The pitch, Freehan takes. Strike one, it's called. No balls and one strike. Yankees 7, the Tigers 5. We're in the top of the ninth. Tigers won the opener 2-1. There's the stretch by McDaniel. Lindy kicks, delivers, swing and a bouncer hit wide of third. Kenny up with the ball, goes the short way to second. The ball game's over. Kenny the Horace clock, and the game is over. In the ninth inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. The final score, the Yankees get a split. The Yankees 7, the Tigers 5.
The big, big changes to the big, big A. The big, big changes to the big, big A. The big changes to A-Mart Stores.
Change to A-Mart discount food stores for big cash savings on quality food.
A-Mart discount, A-Mart savings.
Again this week, beef prices are low at A-Mart, A&P's discount food stores. Super right quality sirloin steaks, $1.08 a pound. Imagine $1.08 a pound for A-Mart's grain-fed steer beef. Guaranteed delicious or money back. Stock up for indoor meals for the charcoal grill. Sirloin steaks, $1.08 a pound at A-Mart. To go with your steak, get Bird's Eye Tasty Fries, potato puffs, 5 10-ounce packages, $1. And for salads, sandwiches, A-Mart's vine-ripened tomatoes, 29 cents a pound. Be smart. Shop A-Mart. Open 9 till 9.
Ron Pinkowski, as we suspected, gets the win in the nightcap. His record is 4-4. John Hiller is the loser. He's 5-4. The save for Lindy McDaniel is 15th. He has now hurled 20 scoreless innings, and his earned run average is a sensational 1.62. For the Yankees, 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. And the Tigers, 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Pinkowski, the winner, is 4-4, and Hiller, the loser, is 5-4. In the first game, the Tigers won it 2-1. So Kenny went all the way to win it. He's 6-2. He pitched a 4-hitter. Stottlemyre went all the way to lose it. His record is 10-10. 2-8-0 for Detroit. 1-4-0 for the Yankees. The first game, the Tigers took the lead in the 5th inning, and they were never headed as they won it by a score of 2-1. The Yankees didn't get a hit after the 4th inning. In the nightcap, it was just the opposite of the first. Dalton Jones led off the game with a home run. The Tigers got 2 in that first inning. The Yankees came back with 3 on a 3-run homer by Roy White. The lead was short-lived. The Tigers got 2 back. In the top of the second, the lead 4-3. And the chase Dan Bonson. Steve Hamilton came on. He gave up 1 run in 2 2/3 innings of pitching. After that, it was Ron Pinkowski who came on to pitch well and pick up the win, and Lindy McDaniel pitched the last 3 in relief. Big blow for the Yankees, and they were trailing 5-3. Bobby Murcer hit a fly ball with Horace Clark on second to deep left field. Ike Brown had the ball hit his glove. It bounced into the stands for what was scored a home run, and it tied up the ball game at 5-5. Yankees then got the winning run in the 6th inning on a line drive double by Jerry Kennedy to left field. A single by Gene Michael put runners on first and third, and then Thurman Munson as a pinch hitter grounded into the double play. Kennedy scored from third, and the Yankees had the lead. They got the insurance run in the 8th inning on a double by Bleffery, a single by Michael, and when Lindy McDaniel is pitching in relief, that's what it is, an insurance run. The Yankees won it by a score of 7-5. So, second place will still be on the line tomorrow night. We're right back where we started. The Yankees a half game ahead of the Tigers, but time is running out on both clubs against Baltimore. The Orioles splitting tonight at Cleveland, but the Orioles are happy every day that goes by and nobody moves any closer. As it stands, the Yankees and the Tigers. The Yankees in second place, 9.5 games out of first. The Tigers in third, a half game behind the Yankees, and they'll play for second place tomorrow as well as for the rubber game of this series. Once again, the scores tonight. In the first game, the Tigers 2, the Yankees 1. The nightcap, the Yankees 7, and Detroit 5. And now this is Bob Gamere speaking for Phil Rizzuto and Frank Murcer, thanking our statistician and broadcast coordinator Bill Kane, our director and engineer Sandy Alver, and our producer Bob Stenner. This is Bob Gamere saying goodbye from Yankee Stadium in New York.